Black technology, building a lightsaber starting from a graduation project. Welcome back, brave explorers of impossible worlds. We are excited to have you here to continue this odyssey together. Before we continue, everything you'll hear is pure fiction, so please don't try to replicate combat techniques at home. This wonderful story and all its rights belong to its brilliant original author. We are only the messengers of entertainment. Want another dose of adventure? Subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss a single chapter, and if you can't wait, our Patreon has exclusive surprises you'll love. Chapter 351. Will we have it? When Xing was assisting Xu Teng to kill the commander, the only person present who could threaten Xu Teng was a Li duo. When powerful computing power is concentrated on only one person, the effect is immediately reflected. Penfun Library. It was within a minute or two of the conversation between Xu Teng and Rido there was a constant response from within the sanctioner. Analysis in progress. Target, Alido, matching database, accounting data. The whole body is covered in flames, only the eyes are exposed. The sample database is being matched, and the sample data is being verified. Conjecture, even if it is the chosen one of God, death has improved its ability. They still have their own shortcomings. The commander's mental ability is super strong, and the fighting force is not good. Comparing with Alido, I came to the conclusion that the exposed eyes may be his only weakness. And Xu Teng's kick was aimed at Alido's eyes. Alido, who burns his life, is different from a commander who specializes in spiritual power. Very fast response time. The right arm was raised, and the moment Xu Teng was about to kick him, he instantly blocked it. The ability they acquired, as Xu Teng had guessed, was that after sacrificing a large number of people, they extracted their life source to arm themselves. In essence, it is to consume the source of life obtained, and to obtain suitable energy to attack others. Now, Arido has become a dead-end boom. Although this blow was blocked by Ali Duo, the flames that came out were not as strong as before. Analysis in progress. Analysis successful. This time, the durability loss of the mecha is 1%. Conclusion, Alido, the energy has begun to decline significantly. It is recommended to activate the leg weapon, lightsaber, to pursue the victory. The estimated success rate, 99%, expected to be 99% successful. Doesn't that mean that if there is no miracle, Alido will surely die? Activate leg weapon, fusion lightsaber. Before producing sanctioners, Xu Teng thought about one thing: the sanctioner mecha should not only have conventional weapons, but also integrate all the weapons that have been produced. Lightsaber, blaster gun, ion energy shield are all arranged back. The location of the two sides is well arranged. The palm of both hands is the best fusion position. Only the position of the lightsaber. Xu Teng had hesitated, but in the end, it was finally decided because, putting on the sanctioner mecha, it might be for close combat then. The leg is the best fusion position. Started, brush the ground. After Alido successfully blocked, he didn't have time to be happy. The leg of the sanctioner mecha instantly completed the change, extending from the leg, and a new part of the new part came out with a bright light. The arm was cut in an instant, so powerful, Ali was shocked. Wherever the lightsaber went, the arm broke, but because Arido is in a state of full body flame, the vitality is extremely strong, and the arms are not weak points. The front was cut by the lightsaber, and the back began to overlap. I see you. Before he could finish speaking, Arido was stunned. Xu Teng's movements didn't stop at all, and cut directly to his eyes. Your goal was originally my eyes. Before he could turn his head, the lightsaber came towards him. When the lightsaber touched the bare eyes, a violent reaction occurred. The flames of Arido's whole body shrank rapidly, like falling into 10,000 years of ice. In an instant the surrounding temperature began to drop sharply, and the air that had been distorted by the high temperature became normal. The data has been calibrated, and the live judgment is in progress. The judgment is correct. Eyes are Arido's Achilles heel. Warn. A large amount of energy began to fluctuate. A violent explosion was about to occur, and the automatic defense was turned on as soon as Xinghu's notification sound came out. A pure golden shield appeared on the sanctioner. Instantly the defense is directly open to the highest level. This is the program that Xu Teng specially wrote when he set it up. When the danger comes, the defense is immediately pulled to the highest level, without the need for orders. Next second, a boom sounded. Violent explosion. The mushroom cloud rose flat, and a shock wave began to spread out with it too. As the center, the buildings next to it were affected and exploded one after another. The lightsaber squad members who were watching the battle were instantly frightened. Quick, open the shield. Bang bang bang. For a time, 5 golden shields formed immediately. It is very obvious in the shock wave, but it is also extraordinarily strong and stands tall. The explosion here also affected the temporary base not far away. The RPG, Stinger missiles and various heavy weapons stored in it exploded one after another. I rely on to set off fireworks. Liu Baran couldn't hold back. The few people who turned on the shield also raised their heads and looked at the grand fireworks. Feeling lingering fears for a while. Fortunately, before the war, academicians who used the drone to send the shield to them. Otherwise, just this shock, they absolutely can't stand it. Maybe it will cause a tragedy not under the attack of the enemy, but under the affected missile fireworks. Academician Xu, you should be fine. Yuan Farron was a little worried. After all, everything just happened so fast. They were separated by a distance and did not see clearly. I only know that academician Xu operated a mecha and rushed up, raised his legs, and swept away. The legs instantly turned into lightsabers, and they exploded. Maybe, before he could finish speaking, he heard Xu Teng's voice coming from the satellite positioning. What is supposed to be? Then I definitely have nothing to do. The five were stunned for a moment, then cheered. Damn it. Academician Xu, you are so handsome when you operate the mecha. Especially your performance just now made me stunned. Is this still the scientific researcher we think? Yeah, better than us. They're not so-called likes. Instead, he was truly shocked by Xu Teng. Whether it's dodging the reaction of Arido's Burning Man or killing the chosen people of other gods, it's really smooth. Then, do we have mechas too? After a few seconds of silence, Wang Doi asked what everyone wanted to know. Please, there is such a mech even if it encounters the so-called siege and other subsequent enemies. The lightsaber squad won't be as embarrassed as it is today. Even if there are more troops, it is still not crushed. Just when everyone thought there was no drama, Xu Teng spoke up. Chapter 352 Send Mecha. It's not impossible. Oh, it doesn't matter. Not now, I believe. Yuan Farron followed Xu Teng's words, but before he finished speaking, he was stunned. What academician Xu said when he immediately turned his head and looked at Xu Teng with burning eyes like can't believe it. Academician Xu, you just said, I seem to have heard that we also have mechas. Yes, I heard that too, because the news was too shocking. Several people did not respond for a while. You heard right, you will also have mechas. Really? Really? When the lightsaber team came out to perform the mission, the shield could not even be mass-produced. As the captain, Yuan Farron was qualified to have a shield now. Can we also have mechas? We didn't just go out from the Dragon Kingdom to perform a mission. Or go to other stars to fight. That's not right. Maybe when academician Xu returns, the mecha will be able to be mass-produced. By the way, don't be curious at that time. Because there will be an artificial intelligence like me in the mecha. Please call me Lord Xinghu. Yuan Farron. The other four, I don't know why, although this AI sounds a bit cheesy, but doesn't this mean that in just 1 month Dragon Country's technology has undergone earth-shaking changes? In fact, even if the lightsaber team did not mention this request, Xu Teng will also take this situation into consideration. After all, the five of them are at the forefront to compete with the latest civilization of the God of Death today. The abilities of the minions left by the God of Death are constantly being upgraded. Before, it was only a part of its body that began to transform. Now, with a siege, the physique is constantly upgraded. It can resist the output of the second gear of the blast gun. Not even a single shot would kill anyone with a commander. If it weren't for Xinghu, he would definitely be attacked by this sudden spiritual force during the battle. Even Alito, who had never seen it before, turned into a fireman all over his body. He was able to heal his body quickly, and his body could emit a high temperature like molten lava, leaving only bare eyes. This one weakness, it seems to be all theology, behind the scenes. In fact, interstellar civilization began to show its talents. If it wasn't for Xu Teng, who made the sanctioner mecha technologically, the opponent was crushed. It was the lightsaber squad that wiped out the entire army. Advanced technology has been able to affect the trend of local battles, and it's only just beginning. Thinking of this, Xu Teng felt that his responsibility was indeed great for the lightsaber squad to continue to deal with the minions of the God of Death. The mecha is already a must-have tool for starting. Xinghu, can you bury part of the computing functions in this country's network like the last time you invaded the beautiful country? Sure, then you act now. It is good, although Blue Star's technology has not yet entered the interstellar civilization, but the situation of the war has entered a comprehensive situation. The sanctioner mecha is powerful. If there is no Xinghu to conduct a comprehensive data analysis during the battle, Xu Teng will not be able to crush all the opponents in such a short period of time. Through big data, analyze the location of all enemies' possible attacks, specific attack routes, and planned escape routes. I have to say that only in the actual combat did Xu Teng know how strong Xinghu is. It really deserves to be another self-built by a cosmic-level artificial intelligence like Xing. This is just without getting the inheritance of the complete treasure house of knowledge. Unbelievable, it is indeed against the sky, have invaded. Looking for the underlying logic loophole of the local network, looking for success, infecting, successful infection, please arrange locked objects. Just the satellite positioning phone in Yuan Thiren's hand. The so-called arrangement lock object is actually a small host. Discover the connection between each other later, otherwise, you will always run amok in the network of the minions of death, easy to get caught by their high priest in tactics. We must learn to despise the opponent, and in war we must learn to value the opponent. Although, the game between Reaper and Xu Teng has always been Reaper losing and the opposite side has been defeated and defeated again and again, but, no matter what, the opposite is an interstellar civilization. A piercing electric sound came from Yuan Thiren's satellite positioning phone. The people next to him couldn't help covering their ears. What's the matter? Why did the phone suddenly ring? That is, wouldn't it be the opponent who started to fight back? From the perspective of the 5 people, I don't know what kind of feat Academician Xu has just accomplished. All I know is that the mecha is suspended in midair without moving. Giggle, didn't I just say it? Please call me Lord Xinghu. From now on, we will be teammates fighting shoulder to shoulder. Several people in the lightsaber team who heard this sentence were stunned, and it took a long time to digest it. And Xu Teng got Xinghu's report. When there are no survivors around, only slowly turned off the power source and landed in front of every Inukakaka. The sanctioner's mask slowly opened, and Xu Teng revealed his face. Until this time, the 5 people around had reacted. What they held in their hands was the equipment designed by Academician Xu, and they fought back and forth depending on the terrain and the opponent. But it was such a science-oriented Academician who, in the blink of an eye, subdued all the minions of the god of death with the violent means of absolute thunder. A word suddenly popped into each other's minds: scientific research thugs. Are you alright? When the lightsaber finally cut through Alito's eyes, the energy leaking caused a chain explosion. At that moment, Xu Teng was still worried about them. Fine, Academician Xu, don't worry, even if there is another group of Death God's minions, it can be solved smoothly, it's fine. Then he turned his head and looked at Maliki, who was standing beside him. Actually, Xu Teng came to rescue this time for another purpose, that is to win Maliki over and join the Dragon Kingdom. After all, the mutants that even the gods of death value is definitely a fragrant Bungon teammates. Wherever they go, they are the most popular. How about you? Would you like to join us? To join you guys, right? At this moment, Maliki's head is a little dizzy. Before Xu Teng manipulated the sanctioner to show his mighty power, he felt a mental shock of the commander on the opposite side, and saw that Irito's whole body turned into a burning man. And the high temperature even distorted the air. He is envious. Think. Mecha is nothing more than that, but in less than a minute, he changed his mind. Mecha, it is too strong, too fragrant. Now you ask me to join you, of course I would. Maliki was about to answer, his eyes gurgling as if he remembered something. Carefully asked, join, send Mecha. Chapter 353, Home Delivery. A simple sentence, but it gave a great shock to the lightsaber team. No, you just had a mecha like that now. Why is this? Look at your tone, like a very humble licking dog. You are an upright mutant. Promised me, never do this. Hearing this, Xu Teng was stunned at first, but he didn't expect the other party to ask such a question, then smiled slightly. Of course I will, as long as you are willing to join. Okay, then I'll join in, Maliki answered quite decisively, for fear that Xu Teng would go back on his words. Yuan Thiren, Wang Doyu, it's over. Death's biggest enemy number 1 seems to be going in a strange direction in the future. I never imagined that the task would be completed so easily. Sure enough, a man can't refuse a mecha. The rescue mission has been completed, and the purpose of this visit has also been reached. The key is that Xinghu has also planted underlying logic loopholes in the network here to facilitate future monitoring. Even though everything has been done, there is no need for Xu Teng to stay here anymore. Turning around, he began to instruct the lightsaber team, continue your mission. Don't rush back to the Dragon Kingdom. The shield sent is the latest product in the laboratory, and it is enough to deal with a large number of emergencies. Several people nodded, looking at the shield watch they got with cherished expressions along the way. The shield has confirmed its defiantness. By the way, your shield watches all have the function of positioning. As for guaranteeing your future mechas, they will be delivered to you after a while. During this period of time, everyone's actions should be low-key. With Xinghu, the other party cannot monitor you so easily. If you encounter this level of minions again, don't confront them again. Clear? Don't worry, Academician Xu, we will definitely take good care of our own safety. Yuan Thiren was very solemn when he said this. Some time ago, they played against such a group of people in the north of Bam City. At that time, The other side was beaten by them after a long time. Several people were completely crushed. The contempt of the heart has long been put away. Okay, see you then. If there is any problem that can't be solved, remember to contact me in time. Krakaka. Machine includes the voice sounded, and the sanctioner's mask was retracted. Xu Teng slowly floated into the sky. In the next second, people will be on the horizon looking at Xu Teng's back. Everyone's heart was mixed, especially for lightsaber squads. They were originally assigned to carry out the task of investigating East Afghanistan, and there were too many things involved along the way: the interstellar civilization of the God of Death, the minions of the God of Death, and the unending declaration of the God of Death. Akademicians never appeared on the front lines, but every task is completed. But there is the presence of Akademicians lightsabers, blasters, ionic energy shields. Not all of them rely on Akademicians' technological inventions to make great achievements. Even a biological warrior like Su Zhao who touches beyond cognition can be sent to the front line. Originally, Akademicians was only doing behind-the-scenes work, but this time, Akademicians came directly in the mecha in the face of these so-called ability-enhancing minions of the God of Death. There is no fear at all at last, and saved them all for a moment. Everyone had an illusion this is a turning point. In the future, Akademicians' transition from behind the scenes to the front will be just as good. Captain, how do I feel? After a pause, Liu Baran continued, Akademicians, he can fight better than us. In the future, I really don't know who will protect who. Indeed, Yuan Farron affirmed subconsciously. Result, when he turned his head, he saw the dejected expressions of everyone. Just kidding. An almighty scientific researcher is more capable of fighting than the strongest special team in the Dragon Country, which is a bit too shocking. Hey, what are your expressions? Yuan Farron said as soon as everyone turned their attention. He continued to speak firmly. It's because Akademicians is so good at fighting. We need to work harder. Think about it, if the mecha you control in the future is stronger than Akademicians, wouldn't it be very handsome? Hey. I think what the captain said makes sense. Everyone's eyes lit up and they had a new goal. The reason why they can become the strongest special team in the Dragon Country is not only because of their talent, but also because of their tenacity. Indeed, we still have the ultimate goal of death. Absolutely cannot relax. Yes, let's work together. Wait, something is not right. The four of the lightsaber team turned to look at Maliki and asked suspiciously, aren't you a mutant? Why do you need a mecha? That's right. You can see how handsome the pentagram is after the ability is upgraded. He can fight, resist, and attack mentally. Maliki hesitated and said confidently, men, I want all of them. Lightsaber squad. I was speechless at this moment. I don't know how to respond. Just as everyone carefully planned the future, somewhere in a resplendent room the high priest was playing with a dagger in his hand, and a younger brother knelt on the ground and reported tremblingly, so, you mean, all the teams we sent over were wiped out? Yes, my lord. The anger was accumulating, and with a fierce flick of his hand, the dagger was instantly inserted into the floor in front of him. The entire city of Kurt's squad adds up to nearly 150 people, including the siege commander, Irito. And only 5 people plus the mutant Maliki. As a result, our group is destroyed. Do you mean that? Hearing this sentence, the younger brother was almost scared to pee, thinking to himself, what does this have to do with me? I'm just a whistleblower. However, he was still shivering with fright and began to beg for mercy. High priest, please give me a chance. There are other news to come. The high priest raised his eyebrows and said coldly, what other news? It's a beautiful country. They only held a press conference yesterday, saying that they will come to East Afghanistan to build a military base in the near future, and that they will exterminate us on behalf of the heavens. According to reliable information, they have set off today and are expected to arrive in East Afghanistan tomorrow. We can use them for surgery. Surgery. This last sentence gave the high priest a wake-up call. Their own country and the beautiful country have always been feuds, with irresolvable contradictions. I used to be weak and afraid to speak, but now, with the technology given by the God of Death, whoever will kill the deer may not know unexpectedly. There are really people delivering to your door these days. Okay. I'll spare you this time. Chapter 354 Classic Battle. When the little brother kneeling on the ground heard the words of the high priest, the stone in his heart finally fell to the ground. God's chosen people seem to be a noble identity, however, only compared with ordinary civilians in this kingdom constructed by the high priest. Strength is the foundation of obtaining dignity. If there is no use, it will be dealt with immediately anyway. The civilization related to the pentagram has always been based on sacrifice. The strength of many voters can be accumulated under a sufficient amount of sacrifices, even for those of them. If one is not careful, it will become the object of sacrifice of the high priest. Understood? I understand. The younger brother kowtowed and thanked him wildly. Don't worry. I will definitely entertain them. That's good. If, this time, you fail too, just wait and go to hell. Yes, yes, yes. The younger brother walked backwards out of the splendid hall. It was not until I saw the scenery of the sky outside that I realized that I was walking around on the edge of life and death again. Beautiful country. You wait. I really think that the chosen people are easy to bully, the younger brother said bitterly. On the other side of the blue star, Xu Teng is flying at high speed. In fact, when Xu Teng submitted the application, the senior executives were a little panicked because, I have never heard of academicians doing scientific research going to the front to fight in person. Count the time one by one to calculate your own heartbeat for the first few minutes. Xu Teng's private route could not be contacted. That is Xing, who automatically blocked all calls since we are on the front line. Fighting with peace of mind is the most important thing. Later, when Xu Teng flew back to the Dragon Country, all calls were released. The first person to call was Alan Tam. Academician Xu, you are, hey, we are really worried about you. You are not hurt, right? No, Xu Teng replied while looking at the optimal flight route calculated by Xinghu. Then, how is the battle? Alan Tam asked cautiously. I'm about to send it to you. Send it to me? Alan Tam subconsciously emphasized. As soon as he finished speaking, he heard a ding-dong from the computer in front of him. You have new mail. Xu Teng developed a new artificial intelligence technology to help Mecha combat. It's no secret to them at the top. Public information. With curiosity, Alan Tam opened the email. The overall length of the video is not long. It is quite short, only 2 minutes, but it was the 2-minute video that made Tan Yonglin stunned because it starts off hot. Under Xinghu's powerful information assistance, the video was not shot from an angle. Instead, it is divided into 2 lenses and 2 perspectives to record. One is inside the mech, Xu Teng's angle. Each order issued has a special meaning annotation, and even the general data of the enemy on its own virtual screen. Not only can you see the specific data of the sanctioner, you can also see where the target is located. The other is the outside of the mecha. From the perspective of God, to be precise, this vision is rather miserable. The main thing to see is Xu Teng's great power. Fried, pen fun library. In the beginning, Xu Teng was a miniature missile launch, hitting the so-called God's chosen. Then there is the blaster gun from the palm, chasing the remaining siege hammer because the specific location can be known. Each time it can achieve precise strikes. As for the latter, determine the commander's position. Instant kill in 1 second of reaction time. He escaped a Lido sneak attack, and made a counter-attack plan. In the end, the device on the sanctioner's leg became a lightsaber, which instantly killed him. It was not until the moment when he finished reading that Alan Tam recovered from the shock. He is a big boss in the military region, and he has been dealing with the formulation of tactics and the situation of war for a long time, but even he had to admit it, this rescue blitz is completely different from what a scientific researcher can do. On the spot response, prioritization of goals, and commanding without haste. It can be used as a classic practical example of teaching materials. A high-tech war should be fought like this. When Xu Teng, relying on Xinghu's information technology, completely crushed the opponent, everything was actually over, and Alan Tam consolidated his emotions and asked cautiously, Academician Xu, is this? It's over in 2 minutes. Yeah, Xu Teng replied calmly. I aimed at him, and my mind was a little broken. The goal and reason for this rescue, Xu Teng is applying for it, is detailed in the book. Send out a most advanced special team, lightsaber squad, deep in enemy territory. After tens of minutes of fierce fighting, it was difficult to wait for rescue. It only destroyed a small part of the enemy on the opposite side. Result, Academician Xu stepped out, and in just 2 minutes, the opponent was completely wiped out seemingly, from the very beginning. People were worried about the wrong people. It should be the lightsaber squad, not Xu Teng. In the video, Xu Teng's super reaction, Alan Tam is very clear. If the mecha is driving, any one of the 4 members of the lightsaber team will not be able to achieve such a victory. Academician Xu seems to be a born warrior. At this moment, Alan Tam had such thoughts. Then, this time, Academician Xu has worked hard. After a minute of silence, Alan Tam choked out such a sentence. Should be, well, then I won't bother Academician Xu. Then Alan Tam seemed to remember something and said, can this video be used as a promotional film? I want to promote it as a classic battle. Yes, you can promote it. Finally, Xu Teng added, in the Dragon Kingdom, our information is absolutely safe. The reason why Xu Teng has this confidence is that Xinghu is currently the strongest artificial intelligence on Bluestar instead of 1. OK, Tan Yonglin hung up the phone. It took a long time to adjust my mood. It seems that in the future, we have to admit, Academician Xu is actually all-powerful. He doesn't need protection and is capable enough to protect us. The automatic defense system of the Mechland has been turned off. Start the Metra fast lane. Estimated time of arrival, 1 minute later. The Sanctioner is equipped with an anti-gravity engine, which makes a loud noise only at full speed now. Coming back is not so urgent originally. Xu Teng wanted to land quietly. As a result, it was still seen by the researchers in the base. Hey, everyone, look! Academician Xu is back. My god, so fast? I heard that it was the emergency situation on the other side of the blue star that asked Academician Xu to help. No. I haven't finished drawing a drawing, but Academician Xu is back. Why, Academician Xu, so strong? Chapter 355 Starship Technology. It ended faster than expected, as some researchers said. I didn't draw a single drawing, and Academician Xu came back from the front line of the battlefield. Is this really the strongest scientific researcher in the Dragon Kingdom? How do you think it is the strongest special forces? Xu Teng's special room, the upper part slowly opens, forming a path for the Sanctioner to pass through. Kakaka. When the Sanctioner met the fixed position of the machine, there was a series of locking sounds immediately afterwards. A few robotic arms stretched out beside him operate on Xu Teng's. Sanctioners are indeed powerful, both in terms of firepower and mobility. Today, they are the top individual weapons on the Blue Star. The only trouble, it needs a robotic arm to operate and wear it. After a few seconds, the Sanctioner was fixed on the Metra platform. When Xu Teng stepped down from above, the Metra platform automatically advanced into the warehouse. I have to say, since there was Xinghu, a lot of things that were never imagined before have become reality. Xinghu, automatically maintain the surface of the Sanctioner. Okay, a series of intelligent voices sounded. It was the sound of the self-test program of the Sanctioner. How is the efficiency of the Sanctioner's production line in the mech land at present? This is also one of the things that Xu Teng is most concerned about. The previously developed weapons were no longer able to meet the needs of the lightsaber squad. This war may seem mysterious, but it is actually a high-tech war between civilizations. The theological technology of the pentagram is also technology in essence. However, there is a little more unreasonable survival of the fittest, but the technology developed from the galaxy has a lot more human touch. The power of the chosen people of the other gods has been upgraded. A newly developed Sanctioner mecha should also be put into the frontline war as soon as possible. Construction completed. The smelting of star iron can maintain the production demand of a set of sanctions in 1 day. The magic-modified Milovsky particle equipment can maintain the production demand of a set of sanctions in 1 day, 1 set a day. Xu Teng was not very satisfied with the speed of production. Logically speaking, it shouldn't. Seeing Xu Teng's frowning expression, Xinghu took the initiative to explain. I spread some computing power to nearby cities. Return. Xu Teng directly interrupted Xinghu's words. Today, it is the most important thing to produce 5 sets of Sanctioner mechas. Ship to the front line first, and the lightsaber squad needs it. Okay. Most of the computing power has been recovered, and calculations are in progress. A progress bar is displayed on Xinghu's main screen. After 100%, Xinghu's words came. It takes roughly 3 days to produce 5 sets of Sanctioner mechas. It is good. Xu Teng nodded because Xinghu and part of the computing power are undercover on the beautiful country and Kurt. This is the fastest time. As for now, there is one more nuisance that needs to be resolved, that is, how to transport these Punisher mechas to the lightsaber squad. To be precise, how did the lightsaber team deliver them when they needed them? By plane? No, the place where the battle is required is definitely more dangerous. The plane will be intercepted halfway. Moreover, when not in use, where to store it is also a problem. After a little thought, Xu Teng didn't have a clue, and began to ask about Xing. Do you have a similar storage device here? Ever since Xinghu acted as Xu Teng's personal assistant and the mecha's assistant butler, Xing has rarely come forward in its words. This is the necessary tempering for Xinghu, but in Xu Teng's ears, no matter how he heard it, it seemed like an excuse to be lazy. The shadow of the galaxy appeared on the virtual screen, and at the same time, it symbolically searched in the warehouse. Secretly tell you, I don't have such a storage device here. Xu Teng, full of black lines. I originally thought that it would have good results if it searched so hard. Finally, say so. Hey, Xinghu became like this. It must have something to do with you. Then say something. When Xu Teng was about to greet him, Xinghu appeared on the virtual screen and looked at himself with a look of contempt. No, what kind of eyes do you have? At this time, Xu Teng was a little unconvinced. You are so great, come on. Xing seemed to see through his intentions and said, young man, you are still not convinced. I tell you, the solution is not already there. Xu Teng was stunned when he heard this sentence. What had happened long ago? Why didn't I know? And many more. At this moment, Xu Teng seemed to have thought of something for lightsaber squads, the Punisher's trouble, not being able to project onto them in time. But the last weapon Xu Teng developed was a space-based weapon at the beginning. When they attacked the God of Death, they also faced this problem: do not know the location of the opponent, cannot strike in time. So, their solution: let the space-based weapon rotate with a blue star. Let the space-based weapons be in the sky above East Afghanistan at all times, so that as long as the God of Death appears in any position, it can respond quickly. And the projection of the sanctioner mecha is actually the same problem, yet the anti-gravity engine was originally designed to enter the interstellar age. Since it can't be projected with an aircraft, why not build a platform, specially designed to carry the sanctioner mech? Let it go with a lightsaber squad. The push of the anti-gravity engine does not need to consume a lot of fossil energy. The satellite positioning phone in Captain Yuan's hand can be used as a specific location. It's enough to have a signal receiver on the push platform. As for the specific locations of the 5 sets of mechas, the ion energy shield that Xu Teng sent out earlier has a signal locator installed. Each person's signal and their own mechas are positioned relative to each other, so, when it comes down, the position is not a problem. Also, the material is originally made of star iron. It is projected from a high altitude and will not affect the specific functions of the sanctioner mecha, and only need to simplify the manipulator in it. As long as the hand is put in, you can automatically wear the sanctioner. As Xu Teng muttered to himself, he found that all the problems were solved at this moment. No wonder, the Galaxy Club told me that. In fact, the solution has already existed. PenFun Library. At this moment, Xu Teng heard an unexpected sound. Ding! A new mission is unlocked. Mission: the sanctioner mecha. The first actual combat projection of the lightsaber team was successful. Reward: Starship Small Hull Technology. It's here. It's finally here. Starship Technology. Chapter 356 Fiasco. With an anti-gravity engine, there is just an energy core that can lift off. Entering the interstellar age is not an easy task without other technologies. The interstellar environment is far more complex than the high-altitude environment. The current Blue Star technology has not been developed to be able to manufacture interstellar spacecraft on its own. These are also the technical issues that Xu Teng was worried about before. Hull structure, material arrangement, design of interior cabins, all are some minor issues now. It has become a reward of the system. When it was really time to doze off, someone sent a pillow. Although just small hull technology, but for the entire civilization on Blue Star, it has a role that cannot be ignored, because this is a substantial step for Long Kingdom to take interstellar technology. Then now, the only thing is to complete the positioning of the mecha in front of you first. Xu Teng turned around and told Xinghu, start writing the code, and label the 4 members of the lightsaber team plus Maliki's position, corresponding to the corresponding sanctioner mecha. Clear. Xinghu, who has supercomputing power, is now raising the upper limit every day. It will not crash when multiple commands are executed. Build a 3D model, make the sanctioner interbox model, and analyze the rationality of the 3D printer model. Building, simplify the manipulator and install it in the box to analyze whether it is feasible. Analyzing, build a model of the sanctioner's transport platform, using the 5 sanctioner mechas as independent forms. However, when operating in low Earth orbit, they can be integrated into one executing order. At the same time, the low Earth orbit platform can also adjust the position of each other according to the positioning of the 5 people. Calculation is in progress. Fortunately, it is Xinghu's super artificial intelligence to assist Xu Teng. If it is replaced by other computers on Blue Star to execute commands at this moment, the memory has long been smoking. Maybe not a single bit of the burnt thing was left. Just when Xu Teng focused his attention on the 5 mechas of the sanctioner, the situation in the outside world changed dramatically. After death, East Afghanistan, the situation has become completely complicated. The previous man in power was completely dead. Today, the entire country is in a divided situation. The act of sending troops from a beautiful country and establishing a military base there is nothing wrong with it from the outside. Although, that time, the projection of the God of Death was nailed to death by the Dragon country's space-based weapon. In fact, the status of the beautiful country has not shaken much during the first day. The international news was full of news of the beautiful country sending troops. As for whether the minions of the God of Death can be found out and completely eliminated, everything the outside world says, shocked, A large number of lethal weapons have appeared in the military bases of the beautiful country. The military base is built in the morning, the battle starts tomorrow, and a week later, I go home happily for dinner on. When the civilization of the god of death comes again, can the beautiful country be the same as the dragon country last time, and give the god of death a blow? Although, the title that most people take is a little too shocking, but everyone agrees the military base has been established. And the beautiful country will definitely be able to fully grasp the situation in East Afghanistan. Maybe East Afghanistan will become part of the beautiful country's overseas territory after being devastated by the pentagram. How could East Afghanistan have the strength to fight the beautiful country? It's just a matter of hitting a stone with an egg. Building a military base in the morning, fighting tomorrow, and going home in a week is a point that everyone agrees with in their hearts. And the next morning, while everyone was waiting for the news to be refreshed again, they saw shocking news. The official media of beautiful country did not make the same predictions as yesterday afternoon. Instead, the authorities in East Afghanistan were harshly condemned. What's the matter? Yesterday, the military base was not well built. Everyone on Blue Star was talking about a happy week to go home. As a result, the first night changed dramatically. Subsequently, the major media began to roughly restore all aspects of what happened last night. Late night last night, the military base was attacked by unknown people, suspected to be the minions of the god of death. Breaking news: the troops of the beautiful country could not stop the attack of the attackers, the minions of the god of death. The ability is actually obtained. An astonishing improvement has been achieved, comprehensively crushing the troops of the beautiful country. Take you to restore the progress of the whole thing from the video of last night and video. Looking at the video that appeared on the global media, everyone had doubts. However, I couldn't help but be curious. Still clicked to watch for the first 10 seconds. Everything was normal judging from the surrounding layout. It is indeed the landform of East Afghanistan, but with a strange cry. All kinds of animals began to emerge from the surroundings. The personnel in the military base reacted immediately, although it is not clear where these animals came from. However, in the face of the attack of hot weapons, they do not have any chance of winning. In the next second, a crowd of people glowing with yellow light appeared. The part shown in the video is the sound of fire from various heavy firearms. Flesh is no match for thermal weapons. The result: the weapon didn't hurt them. The yellow raid crowd rushed to the military base. The door was broken in an instant. Just when the door was broken, a red figure appeared in the distance. Rush into the military base with extreme speed. Although the entire video was shot from the side, the screams in the video are constantly, just as a pack of wolves began to slaughter among the sheep. At this moment, all the netizens who saw this video were stunned. I'm going, this ride, this reversal. I really didn't expect it. One-sided slaughter, no. Are the minions of the god of death so awesome? Last time, in the video released at the global press conference held by the Dragon Kingdom, I saw that they were the one who is crushed. Is there such a possibility that the dragon country is much stronger than the beautiful country? Let's not talk about this. The entire military base in the beautiful country has been killed. Can they just end it like this? Of course not. It will definitely declare war on East Afghanistan. No. East Afghanistan is already dead in name only. I'm afraid this declaration of war has another purpose. It makes sense. I'm afraid it's not going to be a scuffle around the world. Again, if that's the case, I'll kill you in a few days. It turns out that it's not Blue Star peace, but Dragon Country peace. Chapter 357 Announcement. The much-touted military base claims to be home to war in a week, but it was slaughtered in one night for the beautiful country. This is indeed a great disgrace, because there is an example of a space-based weapon crucifying the god of death. What Longuo faced was their boss. The beautiful country is faced with a group of younger brothers, and the result is, judging from the released video, the younger brother beat the so-called Blue Star strongest country. Can this be tolerated? Of course I can't stand it. Within an hour of the video being released, an emergency meeting was held in the beautiful country. An hour later, another news rush to the hot search. Beautiful country declared war on East Afghanistan, and at the same time called on all the countries on the Blue Star to jointly deal with the minions of the god of death, and also announced, if anyone dares to hide the minions of the god of death, it is to declare war on the beautiful country. As a result, a large number of troops began to assemble from the beautiful country. It began to gather in the east of Afghanistan in a mighty manner. The big bosses of the beautiful country also appeared in person at a press conference. On the one hand, it is to cheer up the troops of the country that went to the past, and on the other hand, it is to emphasize that such setbacks are not difficult in the face of beautiful countries. It also claims to have developed the strongest artificial intelligence technology on Blue Star, and it will be used in auxiliary warfare to investigate the foothold of the minions of the god of death. Take a new strike. The eldest of his own family started to declare war, and the younger brothers behind the beautiful country were not to be outdone one by one. They began to show their loyalty, and the multinational coalition began to rush to East Afghanistan at noon that day. The news of all the media on Blue Star exploded. There were speculations about how this march would end, and what changes would be made to the overall situation of Blue Star. A reporter once interviewed the boss of the beautiful country and asked how long it would take to end the war this time. 1 week. It only takes 1 short week to kill all the roaming minions of the God of Death. Our beautiful country is the security guard on the Blue Star, which can be fully confirmed. This statement has been questioned by a large number of netizens, especially in Long Kingdom. The hot list is all related information. I think this time, the beautiful country is for real. I heard that there are new types of weapons to join. Maybe it can really be or it can end. It's hard to say. Don't look at the video released by our Dragon Kingdom before. But who will know how difficult it is to really fight? That is, maybe, we also won with the equipment of Academician Xu. Hey, who are you saying that our country is talking about Academician Xu? Why have I never heard of this person? Only one Professor Xu. Professor Xu. Where is the classmate? Long Academy of Sciences. Some time ago, our official website also announced the name of a newly appointed professor, also surnamed Xu, called Xu Teng. I still have photos. When the photo was posted, some people were surprised by Professor Xu's age. It was too young, and more people don't take it as a thing at all. We are talking about Academician Xu. What the hell do you think Professor Xu is? Can these two be the same? At this time, the 5 members of the lightsaber team were discussing with each other while flipping through the news on the internet. Yuan Farron said vaguely while eating instant food, I didn't expect the beautiful country to declare war, so what is it to falsely condemn East Afghanistan? Now there is no person in power in East Afghanistan at all, just looking for a reason. Well, it is estimated that the beautiful country wants to disrupt the global situation. Maybe, to start a war in the future. Those present are the top special forces of the Dragon Kingdom, and their military literacy is of a certain height. After a little thought, I understood what they were fighting behind their backs in the future. Just one sentence. Your country has the minions of the God of Death. It's an omnipotent reason. There is simply no one who can resist this excuse, but in fact, there is nothing wrong with it. Of all the nations on the God of Death and the Blue Star, there will be only one victor. Wang Doi took a sip of water and said slowly, what a pity, what a pity. Maliki asked. Yuan Farron immediately picked up the conversation. It's a pity that the beautiful country thinks everything too easily. If it was when we first joined East Afghanistan, their troops might really be able to win by virtue of their equipment. Now, the opponent's ability is upgraded. When relying on the siege, they are not able to deal with the land. Having said this, the 5 people present remember it again. This is the first time to see the siege situation. The other party ordered to attack the corridor directly. I thought it was here to die, but I almost left the lightsaber team their physical fitness. Hard to carry the second gear of the explosive energy gun. One shot doesn't kill you. It takes several shots in a row. This riding horse, who has seen it in particular? The commander at the back, a little who became a burning man. These are just one city's minions of death now. The so-called high priest behind it does not control a city. The unlucky country is still beautiful after all. Yeah, Tang Yuan sighed and began to recall that the day before yesterday, Academician Xu rushed to the front in his mecha. Originally, they thought that Academician Xu came here with such great fanfare. The secret of the Dragon Kingdom's mecha will be known to all countries on the Blue Star the next day. Can result. The satellites of all countries are blind. I didn't see Academician Xu's mecha at all, let alone those amazing videos of manipulating mecha fighting. From that moment on, they gradually understood how powerful artificial intelligence technology Xinghu is. No wonder, several people relied on the small Xinghu body in the captain's hands, as if they had disappeared from Nesser. The high priest did not come to trouble them at all. Turn out to be, the current war is an all-out technological war. What the beautiful country can't handle, we Long country can do it now. It's just that I don't know how long it will take for Academician Xu's mecha to arrive. I really want it. Speaking of which, everyone showed expectant eyes. The sanctioner mecha is really handsome. The time that Academician Xu said is coming soon, even the 10-nation coalition military operations against East Afghanistan. The final result was still what the lightsaber team had guessed. The coalition forces of the beautiful country are still being hanged and beaten. The so-called new weapons are nothing but laser knives developed compared with before. It does have some effects, but only a small effect. When the siege fighter's skin was cut open, all the laser knife squads that were added were dead. The 10-nation alliance is no different. Just when the situation was unclear, an announcement suddenly spread all over the world. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 358. Another part of the video. The announcement was preceded by an impassioned announcement, the great doctrine of death that seems evil to the outside world, and all powers can only be obtained by offering sacrifices, but the explanation above the announcement is, survival of the fittest has always been the basis of the laws of nature, the so-called laws. There must be gain if you can obtain power through the pentagram. You can change the upper limit of the human body's own quality. Well, why not do it? Look, the so-called most powerful country on the blue star, the beautiful country, is nothing more than that. It's not being suppressed and beaten by us God's chosen people. The mighty 10-nation allied forces don't know what they are facing. And this is also the beginning of their demise. Finally, use the words to conclude. Submission to the great God of death is a wise choice. Trust me, as long as you can choose to join us and become the chosen people of God under the hand of death, with death's broad mind, you will definitely be open to you. Why is there no way to go to heaven, and no door to hell to break in? It's not the sharpest, the hardest point is this. The High Priest publishes a bit directly through the global network. The countries surrounding East Afghanistan are Lord Death's territory in the future. If anyone dares to enter it will bear the thunder blow. When the news was announced, all the countries on the blue star were in an uproar. Not all countries have the same scientific and technological strength as the beautiful country, and can develop laser knives that cut through the siege. Not all countries can, like the Dragon Kingdom, develop space-based weapons to crucify the god of death. For other countries, the death declaration is more like a countdown to death. Nobody wants to die, especially when there is no way out. Suddenly there is such a global manifesto. In fact, this is what the High Priest did on purpose. He did not release the video of being beaten by Xu Teng when all the eyes of the world were focused on their war with the beautiful country. God's chosen people defeated the 10-nation coalition army of the beautiful country with lightning speed. Even the allied forces of the 10 nations were so unbearable. In the future, when the god of death comes in person, if they can't even develop interstellar civilization, what chance do they have? Now, the enemy is even more stressed. Everyone is equal in evolution, and in the end, the god of death can let go of the past. What could be more attractive than this? As a result, the Blue Star Global Network was completely chaotic. Damn, this Nima, are the minions of the god of death so stubborn? They have already issued the Declaration of Independence, so they are not afraid of others coming to them. Isn't this someone going to do it? It's also the 10-nation alliance. As a result, it was simply tortured with blood. That's right, didn't you watch that video? It's really miserable. That's a war. It's just a massacre. Okay, hey, which video are you talking about? Ask for resources, and a good person will have a safe life. Talkiu plus 10086. Good people have a safe life. Hey, after all, will anyone really believe them? This sentence has opened up a new line of discussion. Everyone's topic instantly shifted from the defeat of the war to whether anyone would really join them after the High Priest issued a public declaration. There will definitely be. There are so many countries on Blue Star. Not all of them are the same as our dragon country. Gan. Isn't that the end of the calf? Before the death gods attacked, we were in chaos inside. Hey, I heard that the siege is not the strongest, and there will be something stronger. You said that our dragon kingdom has any weapons that can compete with it. It should be. Last time, Akademiciansu made a great contribution. This time, there will definitely be other equipment. Just like everyone guessed, the 10-nation allied forces headed by the beautiful nation were almost out of breath when they saw the announcement with the impression of the Dragon Kingdom's space-based weapons in front. Everyone felt that the minions of the god of death were nothing more than that sprinkling water can completely destroy the opponent. Especially, before marching, the beautiful country also assured them that the new weapons developed this time will definitely be able to show their power on the battlefield. He really showed his might, and finally, the enemy will not give them that much time. The casualty ratio between the laser knife squad and the siege is 30-1. The most shameful part is that the combination of pentagrams can be changed. Different patterns have different effects as long as they are not completely. He breathed and sacrificed the surrounding prisoners of war alive, and it didn't take long for them to be alive again. Gan, while fighting, can you still heal? What the hell is going on with this horse? Why did Longuo never mention this situation, and how did the Dragon Kingdom defeat them? Just when the outside world was arguing, the beautiful country began to publicly shout to the dragon country said, Longuo is also a member of Blue Star, and is a big country. He has to bear the responsibility. It is absolutely impossible to stand on the side and watch a good show when the minions of death are jumping like this. This is irresponsible to Blue Star, and it is irresponsible to the people of all countries. As a result, the spearhead of the speech was shifted in the beautiful country. Let everyone's goal come to Longuo join the hired navy, and there are people on the internet who start to rhythm. I think the Dragon Kingdom simply doesn't have the courage to face the minions of God. Look at other high priests making a declaration of independence. But the Dragon Kingdom doesn't dare to let one fart. That's right. Although the beautiful country has lost right now, others have sent troops anyway. It's normal to lose in front of things like war. Tisk. A global press conference was held some time ago, saying that space-based weapons are not the last trump card, and I will always believe in academician Xu, but now, the so-called academician Xu is just like that. How can there be any new weapons? In my opinion, a single siege can put the most elite special forces in the Long Kingdom in trouble. Originally, everyone just watched the fun, but with the increasing number of naval forces, the remarks became more and more intense. Some people became suspicious. The network is completely divided into two groups. Everyone, stop arguing. This is a sailor hired by someone else to do things on purpose. Fuck it. Others are telling the truth. Fuck. There are 500,000 people walking here. Everyone, hurry up. Don't let him run away. Things that don't have brains. Now, to tell the truth, they will also be fucked. Just when the riot was at its most intense, the official came out in person. Unlike the last time, this time a part of the video was directly sent out. This is the video of Xu Teng operating the mech to go to the front line. It's just that all the shots inside the metro were deleted, and the video of another part of the shots was released. Chapter 359. In the video, God's chosen people can be clearly seen. The surrounding environment is dilapidated buildings, some of which are beginning to collapse. The siegists who brought great trouble to pretty nation come together facing the beautiful country. The expressions on their faces were cruel, but in the video, the expressions on each other's faces are very cautious, as if they are watching out for something. Just when everyone was puzzled, the sound of suddenly sounded. This is a missile. The next second, the screen began to burst into flames. Boom. A huge explosion sounded. However, everything that seemed to be huge did not cause a lethal impact on the siege. The yellowish skin glowed and slowly walked out of the flames. Just when the keyboard warriors on the network are about to pick up the keyboard and prepare for a meal, here comes the key twist of the video. A new light appeared above the flames, this time a thick, faint blue light. Pen Fun Library. The siege's skin glowed yellow again, and everyone thought that this time it would be blocked as before. Bang! The faint blue light shot directly through the siege. The attacker didn't even make up for the second shot, so he went straight to the next place. This time the shot was shot from the bottom up. All around are firelight. Only the siege and the so-called faint blue light can be seen. The rest can't see anything. But it was this confident blow that completely shocked everyone. This Nima, what kind of shit is the siege fighter? That's all. The style of discussion began to change in an instant. Quickly take Lao Tzu's zinger knife and give the protagonist in the video an apple to eat. No. Who the hell is this? So confident? You don't even turn your head, don't even refill the gun, and strike with confidence. How to fight the beautiful country. Siege slammed like a god of war, facing the faint blue light weakly and chicken cubs. I'm afraid this person is not the patron saint of our country. Now, the global media, who were about to read the joke, were stunned. No, why did the siegists pull like this? Facing the beautiful country's laser knife team, it was a rush, one knife at a time. Never looking back. The so-called 10-nation coalition military bases are given to all pulled out, and now, the footage in the video is not the only one. All of them are missile interference first, and then the faint blue light is activated, one shot at a time. And never looking back. At first, some people suspected that the siege was so vulnerable because he was seriously injured, but under the exposure of more and more shots, they found out it's not the siege who pulls like that. The faint blue light is so terrifying. Just when many media wanted to see more footage, the video suddenly ended. Isn't it gone? I was watching the wonderful time, but you told me that the following plot is not suitable for watching again. It's so frustrating. The atmosphere at the scene suddenly became weird. Facing the 10-nation allied forces of the beautiful country, the siege fighters showed great power and set up military bases several times. Beautiful country and many younger brothers are anxiously holding emergency meetings one after another. However, in the video given by the diplomat here, they beat up the siege. The style remains as relaxed as ever. Judging from the time the video was shot, it must have been before the siege fighters attacked the beautiful country's military base. So! Exclamation mark. We've been muffled doing big things. The so-called 10-nation coalition of the beautiful country is nothing big fanfare. And finally ended up embarrassing himself. The clown is by my side, the clown is me. The sudden episode interrupted other malicious media around the world. They looked at each other, sorting out their emotions. The diplomat cleared his throat and continued, the so-called siege is actually not difficult to solve. Of course, this is probably only for us, and for some countries, it should be a big worry. As for the so-called responsibility, we have been working hard to take it. We have said that there are many trump cards. We're not afraid of those so-called minions of death who jump off the beam, and our goal has always been those so-called minions of death. They don't deserve our hearts. After a pause, the diplomat continued, from the moment death announced his death declaration, our goal has always been death, and there is only one goal. As for the god of death, we have the confidence to defeat him. As for what the so-called high priest said, we will never give in. If the high priest has the guts, he will go to the border of our country to and fro. It will let him know what it means to have no return. Okay, today's speech is over. The diplomat sorted out the manuscript on the stage and left without looking back. At this moment, the global media was dumbfounded. Good guy. The 10-nation allied forces of the beautiful country are still troubled by the so-called Zegers. The high priest behind him jumped like that, and there was nothing he could do as a result. What the diplomat was saying was that we faced a target that rose directly to death. High priest, what is that? Isn't it a dog of the god of death? Moreover, when the high priest issued the Declaration of Independence, we directly responded, never give in, go to the border if you have the guts. Listen. What is this, eh? If the diplomat did not release the relevant video, people all over the world will think it is bragging, just to save face for themselves. But that sturdy blue light shot a siege. There are flames everywhere through the building. It can be judged that the place where the video was shot is outside the country. So, the 10-nation coalition of the beautiful country was beaten when they went out, and the military bases were all pulled out, and we go straight to someone else's territory and shoot a kid. This contrast, will it still be bragging? A proper slap in the face. When the live broadcast of the press conference ended, the comments on the internet immediately boiled over. Gan. I just urinated. I'll go. This speech is really domineering. Never give in. Never come back. Pretty country. The siegists are really strong, and they were beaten when they went out. What did you say? Isn't the other side a kid who can be beaten at the door? High priest. Excuse me, isn't that the dog of the god of death? Let's fight if we say it. Pretty country, our target is the siege. Sorry, I have only one target from the beginning, death. Once there is a comparison object for the same thing, everything becomes interesting. Some people go out to be beaten, and some people come to beat people. Wait. Then isn't the current situation a three-legged confrontation? I'm going. Cultural person, I almost didn't see it if you didn't say it, so. It will be completely chaotic in the future, and the global war situation is coming. Chapter 360, The Punisher and number 039's projection test. Not long after a netizen's comment was posted, it became an explosive voice. In an instant everyone started to think about the meaning behind this incident. The high priest's Declaration of Independence made the civilization of the god of death completely move from the back to the front. It was still hidden in the past. Now just open the sunroof and start talking. Everyone has been told clearly, join us. Rest assured, you have a bright future that you can shelter for those citizens whose state is not strong enough. The proposal of the high priest is indeed an option. The civilization of the god of death does not value origin. Anyone can transform and evolve through the pentagram. The disadvantage is, it is also savage enough. After all, when you obtain energy, you may also be the party to be sacrificed. It might become food for others, but there are not so many righteous people in the world, and evil is everywhere. Blue Star's local civilization, to develop into an interstellar civilization, I don't know how many years it will take. Right now, joining the high priest's territory is indeed a very good thing for them. The coalition led by the beautiful country will naturally not give up, although the coalition's war is now lost. But for a while, nothing can be explained. The strength of the big hooligan. I feel that I will not tolerate the minions of the death god jumping like this all the time. In particular, there is still a bloody conflict between the two sides. And others jumped out and slapped you. Of course it can't end like this. And the last party is the Dragon Kingdom. Every time I can produce amazing results in terms of technology, it has also pressed a lot of boxes. The faint blue light, but I have never heard of it. But when facing the siege, it is not false at all. Standing on three legs, no one will surrender to anyone, and no one will give up. Just after Long Ago said such warning words, the high priest next door started to fight back. Not long after only, the crowd found something. The high priest's speech focused on avoiding the light, and did not explain the reason for the siege. Just said, our relationship with the Dragon Kingdom has always been endless, and we will definitely come to collect interest in the future. As soon as this explanation came out, The voices of discussion on the internet sound is happy. Yo, the meaning behind this sentence is to admit it. Ha 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 ha, you're still dying. Your bosses are all nailed to death by the global live broadcast. Why, the dog can come out and bark. I'm so afraid of charging interest. Are we going to punish our dog? Tisk tisk, the beautiful country is being beaten by the high priest. We are beating the high priest. Stop thinking about it. Actually, I'm still a little curious. Are these technologies all created by the so-called Su? Yes, everyone's attention was drawn back by this sentence. It would be terrifying if the weapons used to strike were made by Su. Are there really such almighty researchers in the world? No way. So, a group of people started frantically searching for keywords, Su, but no news. Dragon Country, inside the mechanized ground. Xu Teng is checking the data given by Xinghu. The production of sanctioners is made one by one. The advantage of this is that Xu Teng can first use the real object for calibration. The platform that carries the sanctioner mecha has long been built like the platform he used to wear the mecha. It's just been modified to make it stronger and more stable when it rises to the sky. Models made with 3D printers are also quite reliable. The sanctioner was partially reduced to become a box. As long as you put your hands into the box, the modified manipulator can automatically wear the sanctioner. Xinghu, reopen the sanctioner's self-check program to scan for hidden dangers. The sanctioner self-check program has been opened. Locate the experimenter and transmit the signal to the mecha carrier platform. Location is in progress, and the positioning signal has been transmitted to the mecha carrier platform. This time, Xu Teng directly tested all 5 sanctioners. The 5 experimenters, representing the 5 members of the lightsaber team, are in different locations on the test base. The location of the test base is large enough there are dozens of miles in radius. The farthest distance between each other is 10 kilometers, and the nearest is a few meters. The reason why the distance is arranged like this is to test the mecha correctness of projection, able to appear precisely near the combatants in need when the war is fierce. One more second may completely change the situation of the war. After all, the sanctioner is Blue Star's top individual weapon. Xu Teng took out the walkie-talkie and began to command. The experiment begins. With an order, violent gunfire began to sound outside. The 5 experimenters began to walk continuously and ran to the area where the target was set. Xinghu, check the durability of the shield. As soon as the order was issued, the data of the 5 experiments appeared on Xinghu's screen. The shield durability is within the normal range, and there is no danger of being injured. Okay, tell them to press the signal button on the shield. Okay, the 5 experimenters wear watches on their hands, which are the body of the ion energy shield. The surrounding artillery fire simulates the environment when the lightsaber squad is spotted ahead. There is a button on the watch, which is the button to call the sanctioner mecha. The 5 experimenters who got the order pressed the button immediately at the same time. He sighed in his heart. This is the ion energy shield. It was originally the most secret weapon in the Dragon Kingdom. I didn't expect that one day I would be able to use it. Damn, the artillery fire on the opposite side can't hit at all. And this shield can also absorb damage. My god. How many such good things have Su developed? As the ion energy shield successfully entered mass production, top secret information began to be continuously lifted. Just when everyone sighed that the ion energy shield was easy to use, a countdown appeared on the watch dial. The time until the sanctioner mecha is projected into the battlefield, 50 seconds. 50 seconds, so fast. The eyes of the 5 experimenters all lit up. They are well-trained special forces, and some time ago, they were still guessing whether the sanctioners would be able to enter mass production. It didn't take long for them to train in manipulating the sanctioner mecha. Also qualified for experimentation last night. Those who were not selected looked at the 2 of them with envious expressions in their eyes. Now, only in the last 50 seconds, they can be as handsome as Su. Looking up, a bright light appeared in the sky. Chapter 361 Major Discovery. Coming, the eyes of the 5 experimenters were full of joy, and Su told the whole experiment process. The sanctioner mecha will descend from the sky according to their positioning. They landed in different places. When the sanctioner falls, the box will appear where the arm is placed. Insert your hands separately, and everything will be done. The light from the sky was divided into 5 parts in an instant, and they fell to different places. The artillery fire that originally attacked them immediately turned the target aim at the Punisher, who fell from the sky. Boom boom boom. A series of explosions sounded in the sky. The light kept appearing very dazzling. Drip drip. A new message appeared on the dial of the watch in the hands of the 5 people. The shield device has been automatically turned on, and the estimated landing time is 15 seconds. Shield. The 5 of them started to look up at the same time. Just saw the swirling artillery fire at that moment. all blocked outside the sanctioner. The air seems to form a shield no matter how dazzling artillery fire flies. After all, it is impossible to move forward. This is Xu Teng's extended shield technology, since it is to support the lightsaber squad on the front line. When projected from low Earth orbit, the opponent will definitely intercept firepower. Although Xingqian's technology itself is very powerful, but add shield technology on the outside, it is also a new step in protection. Estimated countdown to landing. 5-4. Every experimenter's heart was almost above his throat looking at the device that was getting closer and closer. The excitement could hardly be concealed. 2-1 bang. The sanctioner mecha appeared right beside the 5 people inside. The final countdown of the projection. Xu Teng made slow measures. To be precise, it is to activate the anti-gravity engine because, after it starts, it can minimize the impact to the greatest extent. There will be no situation where the sanctioner is successfully projected but accidentally buried in the soil. The cooling device was triggered instantly, spewing a large amount of gas, cooling the sanctioner's box to a level that 5 people could bear. After a while, the box of the sanctioner appeared. Sure enough, as academician Xu said, there is a position where both hands can be inserted. 2 golden cylinders appeared in front of the 5 people. Everyone in different positions inserted their hands into it without hesitation. Ka. Dong dong dong. 2 seconds later, the voice of Xinghu sounded in the body of the sanctioner. Welcome to use the sanctioner mecha. I wish everyone a happy experiment. The virtual screen popped up instantly. The eyes of the sanctioner's helmet glowed blue, and items of data appeared in front of the 5 people. The distance between the enemy and the enemy, the number of artillery fire on the opposite side, all the data you want can be queried at this moment. There was only one thought in the minds of the 5 people. I rely. This is too handsome. Ha ha ha. I can finally be as handsome as academician Xu. Calculate the shortest distance, simulate the best attack route. As soon as he finished speaking, he heard Xinghu's voice. The shortest distance has been calculated and the best attack route has been planned. The last time Alan Tam asked Xu Teng to pass the actual combat video, it has already been promoted in front of this group of the strongest special forces. After learning, they will also use those operations of the sanctioner in the laboratory. Many audiences are very envious. Today's mecha projection experiment is a public performance in the base. Seeing a shield that blocks a volley of hot weapons not only absorbs damage, but also increases energy as soon as the button on the watch is pressed. The sanctioner in low Earth orbit is successfully located. Then, the projection from the sky was successful, and it fell precisely in front of the position where everyone was. What is high-tech positioning? This is, the whole process is full of dry goods attraction. In particular, the mecha came when he stretched out his hands at the end. It's really as handsome as you want to be. Everyone's computer can choose the lens of different experimenters. Everyone looked at it and sighed. Oh, it's really too strong to use Xinghu to assist the sanctioner mecha. The data is completely crushed. That's right, I finally understand something now. Why did academician Xu crush the siege, the commander, and the fireman last time? Yes, there is this super high-speed information analysis. The real war can be divided in 1 second. Precipitate out the strike position. Even if you hit someone, they don't even know your location. And, that perfect action. Having said this, the former was a little puzzled. Why do I feel something is wrong, not right? What do you mean? It's, after a while, he said his guess. Have you noticed that their movements are not as smooth as academician Xu, as if the sanctioners did not exert the strongest effect in their hands? How is this possible? This is everyone's first thought because academician Xu is a researcher. Everyone agrees on one point. The sanctioner can be invincible when he wears it with Xinghu's super information calculation. No one can break through Xingqian's technology for the time being in the face of all threats. Wouldn't it be enough to push horizontally? The video that Alan Tam took out is not just proof of this, but now, some people have put forward such a point of view. The strong is not the sanctioner, but academician Xu at first. Everyone didn't believe it. The 5 experimenters are all top special forces. Take a closer look. As time goes by they suddenly woke up a little. Guess are true. It seems so. They are not as smooth as academician Xu. Yes, and the reaction speed can't keep up. Fuck. Doesn't that mean academician Xu is omnipotent? This omnipotence refers to all aspects. Omnipotent, the base. In a laboratory somewhere at the moment when the 5 put on the sanctioner, Xu Teng did not continue to observe for him. The experiment has been successful. With a wave of his hand, Xinghu knew what Xu Teng was thinking. The footage of the 5 experimenters was hidden, and the experimental data was recorded in the background. Just when Xu Teng was about to contact the lightsaber team, Xinghu suddenly spoke. Academician Xu, you have a call from the frontline front. No, the lightsaber team didn't contact him, is it? Xu Teng understood. Get me in quickly. Okay, a beep sounded, and the voice was connected. A familiar voice appeared. Academician Su, I have made a major discovery. A major discovery. Chapter 362. Xu Teng was stunned for a moment, then I realized that Su Zhao was on the front line as a genetic biological soldier. Lightsaber squads have reported. They operate in two parts. They follow the High Priest, and Su Zhao followed the magic wolf eroded by the pentagram. Now, what Su Zhao said was a major discovery. I'm afraid that something special does happen. Come on, tell me. Okay, let me swirl. After a pause, Su Zhao continued to report, chasing the demon wolf is not an easy task. I heard my younger brother once said, the lightsaber team went to track the High Priest. It didn't take long for it to be thrown away. Ha. I knew that this group of people can't do it. Professional tracking doesn't have to look at me. Xu Teng. No, how did it blow up? Does this work too? Although Xu Teng wondered why Xu Zhao knew about the current situation of the lightsaber team, but this is also reflected from the side. Xu Zhao's value far exceeds the expectations of the drawings given by Xing. Is it because of the bonus of the badge effect? It seems that the actual functions of many of the following products have exceeded the expectations of the drawings originally drawn from Galaxy. Xu Zhao casually involved a few more words, and then finally got to the point. I have always followed the trail of the devil wolf. Because I went deep alone, I didn't startle the snake. From time to time, I sent different younger brothers to inquire about new situations in the city. Since the day before yesterday, my younger brother has reported more than once that people in the city have been disappearing continuously recently. Disappear? The next second, Xu Teng reacted. There is a price for a pentagram to gain power, and disappearance is not an unusual situation. It would be bad news if it could be resurrected from the dead, and many more. Xu Teng realized something. Xu Zhao went on to say, if it just disappears, it's not a strange thing. I instructed my younger brother to continue the investigation and pay attention to whether there is a new elective god in the city, but when the number of God's chosen people was being counted, a strange thing suddenly happened. Those who became sacrifices are actually resurrected. Live? Really? If the sacrifice can really be resurrected, this is definitely a big deal. Death technology. It has always been about sacrifice, survival of the fittest, although everyone was equal before evolution, but post-evolution status is worlds apart. If the sacrifice can be resurrected, wouldn't it be a bug? How to fight this? Really? Xu Zhao continued, different kinds of animals have a sense of smell that is far superior to that of your human beings. All the younger brothers recognized that the resurrected person was the sacrifice that should have been lying in the pit. When I first discovered the pit, I saw a pentagram that I had never seen before. Different combinations of pentagrams can produce different effects. Because this is the first time I've seen it. I told my younger brother to just stare in the dark and not act rashly. As a result, the next day, the person who was supposed to die was found crawling out of the pit. They're weird. They don't have their own minds, but they have their own goals. All the resurrected people went to one place. As Xu Zhao explained, he sent a general orientation. Xing Hu immediately analyzed the approximate direction of their movement. Clear. Judging from the news given by Xu Zhao, this technology is also generally available on Blue Star. Call it a biological weapon. Infect the human body through various viruses or bacteria and turn it into another form. However, all countries on the Blue Star strictly prohibit such experiments. After all, the original intention of the experiment is against human ethics. The territories occupied by the High Priest had no such bondage. The so-called chosen people of God are essentially the extraction of the life source of other creatures anyway. Those people have become sacrifices. It is better to use them today. Blue Star has become a three-legged situation. The civilization of the god of death is the civilization of the outer interstellar. They don't care about the ethics of planetary civilization. Pen Fun Library. Through the information provided by the Barad seeds, after the analysis of big data, the resurrected people have two goals. One target, Kote City. Another target, the bordering East Afghanistan military base. Kote City is the place where the lightsaber team made a big fight. With Xu Teng's timely support, the entire army in Kote City was wiped out. The video provided by the diplomat on Global News, albeit with a large number of key footage removed, speaks volumes. Also vague, but the High Priest who just issued the Declaration of Independence must be able to see that this is their defeat in the city of Kote. The place is lost. It must be found. Moreover, the lightsaber team was ordered by Xu Teng and had been lurking near Kote without moving. Although the starlight left behind can help them cover up part of the trail with the upgrade technology supported by death, the High Priest must also know that the lightsaber team is still in Kote. The conflict between the two will come sooner or later. Only Military base. This goal is really surprising. Go again. The siege smashed the military base. The 10-nation coalition must have found some ways to deal with the siege after all. There is another interstellar civilization behind the beautiful country, the kingdom of Mandu. The goal is to become the master of the blue star, not to mention whether the goal can be achieved in the end. The racks on both sides have been pinched up, so it will not stop easily. Good guy. It was a world where only military bases were injured this time. I am afraid that the 10-nation coalition will be defeated again to a certain extent. The news brought by Su Zhao this time is indeed a major discovery when he told Su Chao the target of Xinghu's analysis. The latter immediately became excited. Academician Su, the lightsaber team can't do without me. How about I go to support? When leaving, the lightsaber squad only had a shield of ionic energy. Thinking about how they fought for that shield, I couldn't help laughing. If you're called Dad, you can get it. The other three would definitely drop their dignity without hesitation. No need, you just need to find out what kind of new pentagram is, and whether the resurrected sacrifice can be the object of sacrifice again. Okay, Su Zhao always listened to Xu Teng's words. However, can you tell me where the strength of the lightsaber team comes from? Oh, this, Xu Teng suddenly wanted to tease Su Zhao. They are mechas, mecha. Su Zhao was stunned for a moment. This, what happened to the horse? I've only been away for a few days, and I was still grabbing the shield. Academician Su, what do you mean? That's right. One for each person. A humanoid mecha with superpower that can't be beaten. What about the Sanctioner? Chapter 363 10-Nation Alliance, that in number 039, all? Hearing Xu Teng's words, Su Zhao's face was full of question marks. No, why did Academician Su sound so awkward, as if he was deliberately showing off his anger at me after being stunned for a while? Su Zhao asked excitedly as if he suddenly remembered something. Academician Su, I was developed by you. Although I am a genetic biological warrior, but my feelings for you are sincere? No. The other side started to play emotional cards. So, the lightsaber squad already has the Sanctioner mecha. As for me, do I have one too? Just when Xu Teng was about to explain, Su Zhao predicted his prediction. No, I don't listen. Everyone is the same. How could there be no mecha? Sanctioner, cooperate with my name, Xu Teng. In fact, it's not that Xu Teng didn't think about Su Zhao's suit. The key reason is that the technical content of the Sanctioner is much higher than that of the blaster. Xu Teng is not yet skilled enough to scale it down by a certain percentage without affecting the quality of the Sanctioner. This time there is really not enough scientific research water to do it. Okay, Su Zhao agreed very quickly. It didn't even think about it at first. It just reported the news, but there was an unexpected joy. Academician Su has been able to create a mecha. Not only the people around feel that Xu Teng's scientific research strength is too strong, but even Su Zhao, who was born unexpectedly, feels this way. If it hadn't known that Xu Teng was a child on Blue Star, it would have always thought that Academician Su was someone from another era to develop scientific research at this speed. Maybe next time I will deliver the news that the Dragon Kingdom has entered the interstellar era, then I will continue to monitor them. Well, leave the rest to me. After hanging up with Su Zhao, call out Xinghu. Voice processing is performed on this call. The source of the information is erased, and the information is reported to the relevant departments so that they can pass it on to the beautiful country. Clear according to the current level of intelligence of Xinghu. As long as it is processed, no one will know the source of the signal. This is to protect Su Zhao. As for why it should be passed on to the beautiful country, that's because Xu Teng knows there is another interstellar civilization behind the beautiful country. Pen Fun Library. Mandu Gao. China doesn't have enough goodwill for Blue Star. All-out war is a matter of time today. We share a common enemy with Pretty Nation. If the beautiful country falls, we are the only target. So learn to balance. The enemy of the enemy is his friend. Some level of information sharing is necessary. Just give the beautiful country a favor that is sold in advance. As long as the beautiful country has enough time to prepare, it will definitely hit the resurrection sacrifice sent by the high priest. In this way, the anger of the high priest will be directed from Xu Teng's side to the beautiful country's side. Fighting on two fronts constantly consumes the internal friction of the high priest's territory. According to the temperament of the beautiful country, it will definitely send troops to take advantage of the victory. Moreover, it will also be published publicly to attract a lot of attention. In this way, the safety of the lightsaber squad hiding in the dark will be guaranteed to a certain extent. A perfect one, with the mantis catching the cicada and the oriole at the back. Published and successfully conveyed the message. Relevant department replied, today, We will act according to Xu wishes, and convey the words that Xu should pay attention to his health. It is good. In a way, Xu Teng's power has now reached its peak. A word from Xu Teng can change the direction of the future operation of the state machine in the eyes of outsiders. This may be understood as a kind of enjoyment, but for Xu Teng, it is a responsibility in any case. You must be responsible to the people of your own country. Reaper's technology is no joke. I don't know if it was because of restrictions or other reasons. The high priest did not get the complete technology of the death god civilization. This does not mean, nor will it be obtained in the future if, once the limitation is resolved. Xu Teng did not lead everyone to develop into powerful enough interstellar civilization. At that time, everyone would be doomed. Xu Teng must get the information on the starship. Contact me, the lightsaber squad. Okay. As soon as the bell rang, it was connected. In the past 3 days, the 5 people in front have been paying attention to Yuan Farron's satellite phone all the time because, Xu Teng said before he left, next time, it's time to send them a sanctioner. Does Xu have any new instructions to pass on? When Yuan Farron said this, when he said it, Liu Born next to him was stunned. Horse riding. You are thinking about the sanctioner mecha tomorrow and tomorrow, waiting for the stars and the moon, and finally waiting for a call. But don't speak first. Another way to express it, good guy. No wonder you are the captain. You don't talk. This is a mouthful of human feelings. Well, there are new orders. Xu Teng explained the news from Suzhou. Roughly the 5 members of the lightsaber team were sweating coldly. Obviously it is a scorching sun, and the whole person is like walking in an ice cave. The order of the pentagram patterns is changed, and the sacrifices are resurrected. You are writing, open and hang. Right. Also unreasonable. Everyone knows that the power of God's chosen people comes from sacrifices. If the sacrifice is resurrected, it can also become a new sacrifice. Do you have a bug? Xu Teng seemed to know everyone's concerns and explained, there is not enough evidence to prove that the resurrected offerings can also become a new round of offerings. Su Zhao is investigating the request and purpose of the resurrection sacrifice in another place, but if their goal in one direction is you, it means that there is a certain strength. The high priest didn't know that Xu Teng drove the sanctioner to help the lightsaber team, but only knew that the opposite side completely wiped out the power of the Kurt city guard. The ability must be extraordinary, and he dares to send it here. Somewhat powerful. Hearing Xu Teng's words, the lightsaber team disagreed. It's okay, we trust Su. How handsome the sanctioners are. They no longer need to explain. It's just a pity. The military base of the 10-nation allied forces is beautiful these days. They have been paying attention to global news through Xinghu's body. It is also easy to understand the news. Lightsaber squads inevitably have some strange thoughts in their hearts when they hear the siege slang in their coalition military base, for example. That's it? When we first saw the siege, we were taken aback. Don't hang up and fight in the back, brother. The siege can make you feel better. The mental attacker behind, the fireman, combined the attack. Aren't you directly finished? Tisk tisk tisk. The so-called 10-nation coalition is far worse than the 5 of us. Chapter 364 Shocking Things. It's normal for them to think that way because the siege can't stop the continuous shooting of the second gear of the blaster, and even the third gear can't stop the shooting even in the face of an inadvertent counterattack. The lightsaber squad still has an ion energy shield. The dangerous situations that appeared many times were perfectly blocked by the ion energy shield, although the laser knife team once gave the lightsaber team a little shock, but just a little bit. After all, the opposite side was slaughtered by the siege after all. As for sacrifice that should have died and found them after resurrection, need to be afraid? No need. Let me know about the sanctioner mecha projection. So the words that everyone was waiting for finally came. Well, you stay on the front line first. The sanctioner mecha platform is ready, and all your mechas are waiting in low Earth orbit. Low Earth orbit. The 5 were stunned. At the same time, I looked up at the sky, and the things I was thinking about were already there. It really is worthy of being Akita Mission Su. Under the guidance of Xinghu, there shouldn't be any problems. Akita Mission Su, don't worry. Xinghu has helped us a lot along the way. As soon as Yuan Farron finished speaking, a mechanical voice came out. That is, who am I? But Lord Xinghu, that's the truth. Although the body of the satellite phone is small, the network near Kurt has a latent virus planted by the body of Xinghu. If you make a big move, it will definitely be known by the other party. If you make some small movements, such as erasing the traces of surveillance, you can still hide the whereabouts of the lightsaber squad. Because of this, the lightsaber squad can lurk very well ahead. It has never been found. Hearing the voice of Xinghu's clone, Xu Teng subconsciously covered his face with his hands. Whether it is the main body or the clone, Xinghu is the same as Su Zhao. The attributes of the members of the team began to become strange. Well, that's good. You are waiting on the front line now, and they won't be able to find you for a while. When you really need to fight, press the button near the shield dial. The sanctioner mecha will fall from the sky, and the position of your shield is fixed. The order of the mechas is also fixed, and then the direct put your hands into the box to put on the sanctioner mech. As for the sanctioner's tutorial, Xinghu will send it to you. You learn it first. The operation is not complicated. Punisher from the sky, in just a few words, it gave everyone in the lightsaber team a great shock. Turn out to be. This is Akadamishinsu's solution. The shield is positioned and projected from space. This NEMA sounds very compelling, very high-end. As long as you press a button, the top equipment of the strongest individual soldier on the blue star can come to you. Is there anything better than this support? No, absolutely not. Hoo-hoo. Across the screen, Xu Teng could hear that the 5 boys were breathing rapidly. Oh, that's right. If there is no enemy situation, you can press it randomly. The sanctioner mecha, I will recycle them. You who are on the front line expose your cards too early. Not only does it not have the slightest protective effect, it will also lead to premature death. Clear, understand. The 5 people's answers were a bit bumpy. It seems that it is difficult to digest this kind of good news for a while. However, Xu Teng was not worried that the 5 would be reckless. After all, soldiers are soldiers. Obeying orders is a duty, and they will definitely not press the shield buttons indiscriminately. What's more, the operation of the sanctioner can indeed be much easier because of Xinghu as an auxiliary system, but necessary things still need to be known. Mecha, not everyone can operate. Now let's see how the beautiful country faces it. Just thinking of this, Xinghu heard a voice prompt. Relevant departments have given beautiful country a reminder according to your request. The other party attaches great importance to our information. Well, that's fine, just received it anyway. We have the sanctioner mecha here. Moreover, Mechland has been able to enter preliminary mass production, although it still only produces 1 sanctioner a day, but it was a good start, and with the advancement of technology, large-scale production can finally be achieved. The most important point is, the sanctioner can deal with those things of the High Priest. Beautiful country's laser team is not good. Just wait, what kind of cards can the other party reveal this time? After all, both sides there will be fights. And only by knowing the enemy and knowing yourself can you be victorious in 100 battles. The kingdom of Mandu, like the civilization of the god of death, cannot be underestimated. Do you need to see when the opposite side is fighting? After many days of getting along, Xinghu already knows Xu Teng's daily habits. Otherwise, it will not take the initiative to ask. No, Xu Teng waved his hand and continued, if there is a war, you just need to record important data. You don't need to send it to me, I still have experiments to do. By the way, Xu Teng turned back and said seriously, if there is a war, you should try your best to capture the footage. Live broadcast in the Mechland, and at the same time, submit an application to Allentown to broadcast a video to them synchronously. Go. Those first data are very important to their soldiers. Clear. With Xu Teng of intermediate mecha power, when wearing the sanctioner, he is more like a god of war. Although he is a scientific researcher, no one can beat him. Xu Teng can be better described in one sentence. A mecha operator who can't punch is not a good researcher, but others can't. The sanctioner needs to cooperate in order to develop its upper limit. The invincible Xu Teng is open and cannot be compared. The actual combat scene can stimulate their fighting spirit in the Dragon Kingdom. There has never been less war in the past 5,000 years. Love peace, not fear war. As soon as something in the DNA moves, anyone can go up and throw their heads and blood, and these soldiers know it. Just like the pinned comment on the internet, a global melee is coming soon. The high-level officials of the beautiful country hold an emergency meeting. A few minutes ago, a message came from the Dragon Kingdom. The sacrificed sacrifices can be resurrected from the dead, and the goal is the beautiful country's military base in East Afghanistan. Their first reaction at that time was, what the hell, you are definitely lying to me. As we all know, the Death God civilization needs sacrifices to gain strength. Now that the sacrifice can be resurrected, you are stuck here. Can you speak a little bit of science? But later, the satellite was used under suspicion. As a result, they really saw something that shocked them. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 365 Sonic Jammer. Modern satellites are very accurate even at high altitudes. People standing on the ground can be clearly photographed. You can even see a few bunches of flowers around originally. As a competitor to provide some information to the beautiful country, they didn't quite believe it. As for why the investigation was carried out, it was a skeptical attitude because the siege has brought a lot of pressure to their 10-nation coalition. To be specific, it never occurred to me that building a military base would be so difficult. Time and again, he was directly removed by the so-called siege. According to the approximate location provided by diplomats, Pretty Nation used 3 satellites in the sky scan all possible paths. A few minutes later, the final result will come out. Everything was fine before, and they were even ready to let their guard down. The alarm bell rang. Suddenly everyone present was stunned for a moment, and then subconsciously looked at the big screen in front of them. The preset alarm sounded because of the dust. Then, what is that? The staff on duty, the chicken legs were about to fall out of their mouths. I don't know. Look closer. Okay, Lieutenant Colonel. As the camera zoomed in, everyone saw a group of people running fast in a desert area. I ride a horse. Someone running is not something to be afraid of. The point is, these people don't seem to be alive. The skin is dark red all over the body, which is the reason for the accumulation of blood. The pupils were white, and some people even felt something. When they looked up, they happened to be photographed by the satellite in the sky. At that moment, everyone felt a little nauseated. The drumsticks fell out of the mouth before. Obviously a no-brainer, otherwise you will vomit. Unknown liquids are emerging from everyone's body, some black, and even green. How disgusting it is. This horse doesn't look like a living person. In the next second, the people in the base reacted, shouting loudly, "Quick, quick, contact the commander of the base for me, take this picture and send it to the frontline military base to prepare them." A series of busy. At this time, the talents in the base began to sigh with emotion. Why does the Dragon Kingdom know such a secret message? How much do they know? And how much power do they have? In this way, the pictures were passed on to the big bosses of the beautiful country, and these people are in a high-level emergency meeting. Jones rubbed his brows. When the beautiful country wanted to build a military base on the front line, it was his suggestion. Everyone sitting here knows that the boss of the beautiful country has a back-to-back deal with the Kingdom of Mandu before the other party comes. The Blue Star must be unified. The war is going to be fought anyway, and there are legitimate reasons. Then you have to give others a shuttle when the other party can't respond. In fact, this is indeed the case. The military bases on the front line are established very quickly. Given the 10-nation alliance from this point of view, everything is perfect. Maybe he was beaten and beaten by the so-called high priest. No, when Longuo beat you, it was a quack killing, and he didn't even dare to let one fart. Does this mean that you are weak? Why? We want to establish a bridgehead military base on the front line. It is so difficult. I've been killed by you all the time, especially now. Even the so-called sacrifice can be resurrected. What does it mean? Can't afford to play. Open plugin. My head hurts. I thought I could kill anyone I met, and there was the so-called support weapon of the Kingdom of Mandu. Facts have proved that anyone can quack kill themselves. It's hard. It's really hard. Putting his hand down, Jones looked at the few people in front of him and asked impatiently, "Do you have any good suggestions? Be sure to snipe them on the road and never enter the military base." Jones, you said it well. Don't say it again next time. It's just bullshit. In fact, without listening to everyone's suggestions, Jones also knew what they were about to say. It's nothing more than sniping it with missiles. There are many types of missiles according to the weapon target of the attack. There are anti-tank missiles, anti-ship missiles. According to the flight mode, there are ballistic missiles and cruise missiles. This is really one way because the other party is running like this. There is still a certain distance. The power of the missile is so powerful that it can definitely give the opposite side a drink when it is fired. Surrounding land, the shape is also a desert area. It's not that civilians were accidentally injured, but there is one most important reason. Now they are the passive side, and one day they will be the attacking side. The terrain is not only deserts, but also plains, basins. If there is a street fight, the enemy and we are in close quarters, just like the video released by the diplomat. What to do when the battlefield appears near the house? Could it be that it was also a missile that shrouded all the soldiers on both sides of the enemy? Let's report it, and ask the boss to contact the people of the Kingdom of Mandu, Walter said beside him. Although he doesn't like war, but since they knew about the deal with the Mandu Divine Kingdom, there was nothing else they could do. Blue Star will be unified sooner or later. Death and them will never coexist peacefully. Well, that's what I thought too. After the meeting, 2 messages came from the room. First, intercept with missiles, and record the data of these resurrected people at all times for reference. Second, report the situation and let the boss contact people in the Kingdom of Mandu. Time flies by. Good news came when the missile was intercepted. Resurrected people can indeed be injured by missiles, but the effect is not very ideal because, when the beautiful country issued this order, suddenly it was discovered that some missiles did not bomb according to the established route. It was like at that moment, someone broke through their network firewall and modified the parameters. After an emergency investigation, a pentagram pattern appeared on the screen, as well as a voice from the high priest. I didn't expect that. All your data was not intercepted this time, but it doesn't matter. You will not have such good luck next time, my resurrection army. How can you blow up if you want? At that moment, all the officers were startled in a cold sweat because the fact that the high priest can change the target without them realizing it shows that artificial intelligence technology has reached a certain height. The next missile might explode at their base. The other good news is that Mando Divine Kingdom has provided another batch of technical support. When he heard pentagram and death civilization, the other side was very cautious in this batch of aided technologies. There is one technology, sonic jammer. Chapter 366. Yours is easy to use, mine is the next second. There are many weapons to support, there are shields, there are attacks, and there are various aspects. Although the people of Wandu Divine Kingdom did not say anything, but when the boss of the beautiful country reported the news in front of him, he could clearly feel the change in the emotions of the other side. It's like, I didn't expect Death God civilization to intervene on Blue Star at all, and I never thought that the little Blue Star would have a god of death come here, cultivate it, and make it his own backyard. And so the weapon technology this time has many aspects compared to the last time. It was also specially emphasized. The army of the living dead actually relies on sound waves to transmit messages. To be precise, rely on sound waves to establish the target of the attack, and analyze it among the army of the living dead. Sonic jammer. This weapon first collects the opposite sound, conducts further analysis, and finally transmits it out to a certain extent. It is able to disguise itself so that it cannot be found in the army of the living dead. Of course, this is not the main function. The core function of the sonic jammer is to make the army of the living dead unable to clearly analyze the enemy and fall into a state of confusion, then appear, attack the living dead around you. That night, the boss of the beautiful country walked out of the separate conference room with his head held high. Look, it's better to become an affiliated civilization as long as there is any problem. There is an interstellar civilization. The kingdom of Mandu is behind it. The desired countermeasures came out immediately, and even the weapons were readamf. Isn't the dragon kingdom quite a drag? I see how you can drag yourself when facing the army of the living dead, although there is no law that says it can't be dragged, but it's unpleasant to look at you at the same time. In the mechland on the other end of the blue star, Xu Teng, who was working hard, suddenly heard news from Xinhu. The news has been communicated that the resurrected sacrifice and the beautiful country had the first conflict. So fast? Xu Teng stopped what he was doing and was stunned. Call up the screen. Okay, the screen flashed and the lens appeared. The surroundings are all desert, and the resurrected offerings are on shrapnel. This is, after the emergency meeting of the beautiful country is over. From inside the hut message, attack with missiles. Some of Xinghu's algorithms are undercover in the beautiful country's network. To be honest, not being found undercover is really useful. The decision over there came out, and Xinghu, who was on the other side of the ocean, got the latest news with missiles. It's not impossible, but in any case, it's too bland because pull the battlefield a little smaller. This is not a good plan. It is impossible for the high priest to let the other side succeed. After the declaration of independence, they urgently need to establish their prestige around the world. In fact, it is. The missiles launched did not all hit the target. The targets of some missiles were hacked into the network by the high priest when they were launched, and the changes were made, so all the living dead legions were not destroyed, and at the same time, the video of the high priest appeared on the screen of the missile base. This made the beautiful country feel shocked and dare not continue to use missiles easily. Xu Teng was stunned when he heard the news, then he almost burst out laughing. It's not that he looks down on the beautiful country, but the reality is a little too magical. The missile base was invaded in person. Moreover, it will also change the target of the missiles launched in the past in front of your face. Green your missiles. You still don't know this. It's so exciting. In particular, neither side has discovered the seeds that Xinghu planted in their mutual networks. You fought in front of me and no one found me. Be as happy as you want. Well, I see. Continue to monitor. Just when Xu Teng wanted to analyze the data of the army of the living dead, Xinghu spoke again. Academician Xu, there is a new piece of news that I think you will be interested in. Oh, Xu Teng raised his eyebrows. This kid can actually handle human emotions now, you say? Okay, this is the case with Xinghu's elaboration. Xu Teng understood that the high-level meeting had two decisions. One is to intercept them with missiles, and the other is the kingdom of Mandu. which has declared their support compared with the last time. The assistance this time is very powerful, not only the army of the living dead, but the most basic information. There has even been fun library how to deal with it. Sonic Jammers, Sonic Jammer. Xu Teng flipped through the news that Xinghu had quietly copied and kept nodding while watching. It turns out that using sound waves to transmit information can also change the cognition of the army of the living dead. There is no distinction between enemy and me. It is indeed a good thing. Xinghu recorded that someone else has prepared good things for us, so we can't refuse their kindness. Information is always the most important thing. Clear. A bright smile appeared on Xinghu's screen. Your stuff is fine, but the next second is mine. Thanks for the assistance technology sent by Laoti. Sonic Jammer. Xu Teng looked at the design drawings above and meditated. The principle of the weapon is not difficult. It is to use sound waves to interfere with the transmission of information even on Bluester. This is not uncommon. Bats, dolphins, species that use sound waves to transmit information are not alone. Although it is not known what method the high priest used, it is obvious that the information was conveyed through a super long distance. The blueprint given by the kingdom of Mandu, it is to interfere with those sound waves' confusion of information delivery, but with the addition of so many badge effects. Xu Teng's thinking has become broader. Since the high priest uses sound waves to transmit messages, it means that the so-called living dead legion does not have any leader and obeys the arrangement of the superior. There will be no temporary changes if I collect and analyze the sound waves that humans can't feel. Can I find a rough band? In terms of the technology of Mandu Divine Kingdom, some changes are made. The so-called sound wave transmission is not only to interfere with the transmission of the high priest, but to imitate him. These thoughtless living dead legions can all become legions under our command. That doesn't make the most of the point. Yours works fine, but the next second is mine. Certainly other people can't do it, but I have Starlight. Xu Teng turned to look at Xinghu's body, his eyes burning. Xinghu barred program loopholes on both sides and became a very qualified undercover agent. Chapter 367. What in number 039's wrong with trying to build a military base? Even the simplest weapon designs require a lot of data for reference and comparison in the information age. All aspects of the impact are much deeper than people think. The appearance of Xinghu can solve all problems. Please, there is an artificial intelligence hidden in the network of two civilizations, and when you provide data, it will not be discovered by other people, which is really cool. Okay, the undercover was by my side, and the undercover was me, Starlight. I am here. Record the data on the bombing of the Legion of the Living Dead by the beautiful country. Okay, also, back up the data supported by Mandu Divine Kingdom. Quietly invade the High Priest's network without alerting the opposite network firewall. And try to transfer key information. Clear. Xinghu answered Xu Teng's order, and his face was full of excitement. This is not to quietly enter the village. Do not cheat. It's really exciting. What's more, under Xinghu's underlying logic design, he is on Xu Teng's side, watching the dog bite the dog on both sides, a mouthful of hair. In the end, it was discovered that the so-called army of the living dead had become a resource for a third party. Wouldn't that be as exciting as it gets? With Xinghu's calculations, items of data began to appear. Xu Teng muttered while flipping through the data that filled the screen. Just as I guessed, it was indeed Sonic that released the information. There is only one difference. There is a small pentagram device in the brain of the living dead. It seems that this is how the High Priest can control these living dead at a super long distance. I just don't know what the combination of pentagrams looks like. If this is the case, it cannot completely seize the control power of the High Priest. These are the data that Xinghu can get after working with all its strength. Don't dare to go any further, or else it will be discovered by the High Priest. If the High Priest were here, he would definitely be stunned by Xu Teng's thoughts. I ride my horse. A legion of the living dead that has been painstakingly refined. You actually thought that all the pots were served, man. Why are you so ambitious? Can't we save a little face for our death civilization? It seems that it is impossible to collect all the living dead. It's in the bag, but, in a short period of time, it is not difficult to affect those people. Xu Teng pondered. Although, I don't know the running pattern of the pentagram, but, Xu Teng, are not ordinary people either. Not only Xinghu, but also Xing, plus the effects of those badges want to beat me. There is nothing that's simple. You have the interstellar civilization that supports you. Xu Teng, have hanging. Let me see where my own limits are. Whether to activate the badge, the magician, start up. Since Xinghu appeared, Xu Teng's attention has shifted a lot recently. The upper limit of Xinghu has been developed, and attention has been paid to the sanctioner measure. The badge has not been actively activated for a long time. The target is being collected, and the target collection is complete. Analysis objects, Legion of the Living Dead, Sonic Jammer's Pen Fun Library. Purpose, How to use sonic jammers to control the living dead in a short period of time and turn them into their own legion. Analyzing the possibility. After the system upgrade, the effect of the badge has become a little bit different. The specific point is, the target within the line of sight can become the object of analysis at the same time. Because the goals are different, the results that emerged were also different. Like now, the blueprint of the sonic jammer is affected by the badge effect of the modder constantly parsing and constantly permuting. According to Xinghu's big data support, the possible results are continuously simulated and carry on constant deduction. Fortunately, there are orders on it. Once the resources need to be allocated, all the resources of the Dragon Kingdom will be put into the mechanized land. First, domestic computers can also be connected to Xinghu's body at the first time to assist in operation. Don't look at it. It's just a simple deduction analysis, but whether it's the Legion of the Living Dead or the sonic jammer behind them are two other civilizations. Moreover, they are all interstellar level civilizations. At the same time, it is far higher than the current civilization level of the Dragon Kingdom at this moment. Combined with most of the resources, the deduction has just been carried out, and the calculation will not stop. At this moment, Xu Teng suddenly opened his eyes just now. With a bonus of the badge and the calculation of Xinghu, two kinds of things were calculated. Possibility: I have to try it immediately, maybe. The sonic jammer is really useful. Just when Xu Teng was trying his best to turn the things of the High Priest and the things of the Kingdom of Mandu into himself in East Afghanistan, there was no blood on the faces of the officers in the forward military base. All of them drooped their faces, as if they were about to burp. In fact, if you follow the line of the Army of the Living Dead, they do have a chance of burping after 2 days. Oh my god, the missiles couldn't kill them right away. After the missile base launches the missile, the live footage is cut into the military base because nothing good has happened since the 10-nation Allied forces landed in East Afghanistan. It was destroyed by the siege that night. The High Priest issues the Declaration of Independence. Every operation is hitting them in the face. Fortunately, Longuo delivered the news in time, so they could give early warning and launch missiles. But the problem is, the original live footage wanted to cheer up the officers in the military base, but accidentally, a terrible news was delivered. The Army of the Living Dead, after being separated from life, became extraordinarily fierce. Missiles do work, but only partially. The part that was blown up did not kill the entire Army of the Living Dead. Some are still struggling. Every time they struggled, the officers in the base felt stepping on their hearts. As for why not keep firing missiles, that's because they got news that the High Priest had invaded the missile base. The house is about to be stolen in person. What could be more embarrassing than this? We just want to build a military base. What the hell are we doing wrong? Just when everyone made up their minds whether or not to leave the military base with intentional injuries, there was good news. A new weapon is being developed, called the sonic jammer, which will definitely be useful against these legions of the living dead. It works. The officers in the base looked at each other. They all saw the helplessness in the eyes of the other side. Forget it. Let the dead horse be a living horse, doctor. The big deal. The military base will be destroyed again, if not destroyed. Woo woo woo. Want to cry? Waiting online. What to do? Chapter 368. Major information. The state machine is the most terrifying when it is fully functioning. Neither individuals nor those powerful forces can compete with the entire country. Then, since receiving the blueprint of the sonic jammer, Pretty Country has been operating with full force facing the High Priest. They had already suffered a lot of defeats. It is a small matter for a military base to be uprooted, but the loss of the face of the country behind it is a big matter. The world's eyes are focused on this. On the contrary, after the High Priest finished a blow, not only did he not keep a low profile, but he also became extraordinarily high profile. Everyone has the potential to evolve, as long as you join us. The grievances between death and you will be wiped out. The words are very simple, but the effect is good. The intelligence organization of the 10-nation coalition has been operating at full strength since the beautiful country was suppressed several times. The words of the High Priest really made some people move their minds and run to the territory over there, willing to become the chosen people of God. Freedom and depravity have always attracted many people. Some of them went to the Dragon Country and tried every means to join in, because according to the announcement, the High Priest fought with a beautiful country, and the beautiful country was beaten. The High Priest fought with the Dragon Kingdom, and the High Priest was beaten. Which is stronger or weaker? It is very obvious. The Legion of the Living Dead was the target of the knife. Sonic jammers are the top priority. The sonic jammers supported by Mando Divine Kingdom not only have detailed drawings, but also have specific experimental steps. Even the data on the final inspection of the finished product is extremely detailed, completely fool-like teaching. for fear that another civilization will not be able to learn this technology in the kingdom of Mando God. The benefits of doing so have achieved obvious results in the beautiful country. The sonic jammer was developed in just a few hours after detailed testing. The first batch of finished products was immediately shipped to forward military bases in East Afghanistan. This time, no matter what, you have to stay. Before leaving, the instructor solemnly instructed, according to the order, the task must be completed. Kakaka. With the arrival of batches of transport aircraft, sonic jammers came to the military base. The originally heavy atmosphere was relieved at this moment. All in one mind, all flocked to look at the so-called sonic jammers. At this time, an instructor stood in front of him holding a sonic jammer in his hand to demonstrate. The whole is painted black. Like a firearm, there is also a trigger, but the muzzle has a flared shape with white paint on the inside. Sonic jammer. The combat range is 1 kilometer. The working principle is, when the trigger is pulled, the jammer will emit sound waves that are difficult for ordinary people to hear. These sound waves are deadly to the army of the living dead and can interfere with the attack command issued by the controller. The shape of the horn is to amplify the sound waves, and the white pigment in it is a special sound-generating device. If both parts are damaged, the sound wave jammer will not work, so, you must protect these two parts. Also, when the sonic jammer is successfully used, the army of the living dead will fall into a state of silence. Because of their extremely rigid physique, ordinary firearms cannot hurt them. The army developed a laser gun for this. The instructor beckoned behind him and lifted the black laser gun up. Pen Fun Library. When the army of the living dead is silent, please show no mercy. Aim the laser gun at its head, and let them go to see God. Having said that, the instructor tidied up his clothes, looked back at the soldiers with excited expressions on their faces, and asked, "Answer me, can you do it? Can you complete the mission? Can. Okay, let everyone on Blue Star take a look." Facing the High Priest's troops, it's not just the so-called academicians who can do it, we can too. In the last few hours, the people inside the beautiful country military base began to shift from defensive to offensive stance. To be honest, it was really frustrating. There is no reason why a military base cannot be established. The Legion of the Living Dead, with no intention of hiding their shadows, attacked the military base with great fanfare. In fact, for the High Priest, he also needs something to consolidate the hearts of the people. The three-legged situation is only temporary and will eventually be broken. Showing your strength. Recruiting troops is the most important thing. Be a soldier and live in a beautiful country. When the dead meet, the former is more dazed. They were indeed prepared, but seeing this army of living dead rushing all over the mountains and plains, I was a little timid in my heart. The opposite is used to run. If you don't get enough information, who would believe that the dead person is running at the same time? Everyone thought of a situation: walking zombies. Quick, pull the trigger. Don't panic everyone. Sonic jammers, laser guns, we all have. After everyone pulled the trigger, the Legion of the Living Dead running all over the mountains and fields really stopped. It's like pressing the pause button. So cute. Everyone secretly breathed a sigh of relief. The army of the living dead that need missiles to blow up. If they charge like them, it will definitely cause serious trouble. Boom. The sound of a laser gun sounded in an instant. It pierced the head of the army of the living dead. Aren't you amazing? Scream, move, bang bang bang, come on, bite me. Why don't you move? Everyone's courage began to grow, and the army of the living dead who would not resist is the best target. Just when everyone shot one by one and started hitting the target. Mutation, hey. Come and see. Why did the surface of their bodies start to glow? The shouting caught everyone's attention. A ray of light poured out from the body of the living dead Legion. Getting brighter and brighter, the originally motionless living dead slowly raised his head and smiled at the soldiers of the beautiful countergan. A bad premonition rose sharply. Quick, let's go. As soon as the words came out, there was a boom, like a dynamite barrel on fire. It exploded. The soldiers in the distance were stunned. Turning his head, he suddenly saw the living dead in front of him, also smiling. Dangerous. When the war on the front line was introduced into the military base, the instructor was stunned. Explode. Well, no one survived. At the same time, on the other side of the Blue Star, in the mechanic ground, Xu Teng, who was concentrating on scientific research, was reminded by the voice of Xinghu next to him. Academician Xu, there is a major piece of information to report to you. Chapter 369, Resurrection Day. Under normal circumstances, Xinghu would not take the initiative to disturb Xu Teng even in scientific research. Accidental inspiration is a very important thing, and those actively triggered badges can always bring unexpected benefits to Xu Teng. For example, inspiration that pops up every now and then. Hearing Xinghu's voice, Xu Teng got up, moved his slightly sour arm, and asked casually, "Is it about the army of the living dead?" "Yes, tell me about the specific situation." Beautiful nation's actions, under the surveillance of Xinghu, are almost as transparent, come to think of it. The kingdom of Mandu has had some contact with the civilization of the god of death. The legion of the living dead is no secret. The strength of interstellar civilization has always exceeded the imagination of Blue Star people. Because of this, there will be equipment support for sonic jammers armed with weapons specially designed to deal with the legion of the living dead. The troops of the beautiful nation will surely march in. Even the opposite attack is a living target in front of them. Just go up and do a. In fact, it is. The situation is similar to what academician Xu speculated. Because of the support of sonic jammers and laser guns, the frontier military base did not encounter any difficulties in facing the army of the living dead. After the sonic interference, the running army of the living dead stopped moving as if they had pressed the pause button, and became a still living target. Some photos appear on the screen. The living dead with a pentagram engraved on them stood quietly and were beaten. The beautiful soldier who shot one by one laughed very happily. I don't know which one is more powerful than the so-called laser gun and the blaster gun. As soon as Xu Teng asked this question, the calculation process appeared on the Xinghu screen. After a rough data comparison, the strongest power of the laser gun is equivalent to the output of the second gear of the blaster gun, which is much worse than the output of the third gear of the blaster gun. Oh, it's worse than a blaster, so I'm not interested. Xu Teng rubbed his chin, thought for a while, and said, "Xinghu, this is not the information you want to talk about." If this was the case at the beginning, there was really no need to report it to Xu Teng. With sonic jammers and laser guns, one shot of the living dead is not uncommon. The turning point of the war is in a minute. While talking, Xinghu called out a video and assisted in the commentary. The army of the still living dead has a strong light coming from its body, and the expression on its face has also changed. Before, all the living dead were expressionless, but with the appearance of light, smiles slowly appeared on their faces. Xu Teng looked at the smile of the living dead in the photo. As weird as it could be, the dead actually started to laugh at me. Just thinking about it makes me sweat. When the light reaches its limit, the still living dead explode like a bomb. Speaking of which, there is a loud sound coming out of the video being played. Boom, deafening. Xu Teng, fried, judging from the news intercepted by Xinghu. Mandu Divine Kingdom did not mention this. It doesn't make sense if it's done on purpose. Mandu Divine Kingdom needs the younger brothers of affiliated civilizations to help them rule Blue Star, so there is only one point: the kingdom of Mandu. I don't know the news. The civilization of the god of death has evolved a little. After being slightly surprised, Xu Teng accepted the guess. The civilization of Blue Star is changing with each passing day, not to mention the interstellar civilization that is higher than them. Then, in this contact battle, did anyone survive? No, all are dead. Xinghu opened the last video while reporting the situation viewed from a height. The satellite shows a mushroom cloud below the yellow sands, and the sky is boiling, like pouring water on hot oil, and the shock wave spreads far into the distance like an aperture. When everything was silent, big pits appeared in the yellow sand. Xu Teng was stunned. This is so powerful. Although the beautiful country is fighting against the civilization of the god of death on the bright side, but, represented by Xu Teng, the lightsaber team sent out fought many times against the death god civilization on the dark side that everyone could not see. It was a little outrageous at first. For example, the emergence of black fog can change the quality of the human body and produce different abilities. Although what some people look like as humans has changed, there are still traces of human beings. Pen Fun Library. Subsequently, the lightsaber team encountered Siege and Kurt. There are some gods. Voters are completely out of the category of human beings. For example, Burning Man. The superpower can only be activated for a small amount of time, and the whole body becomes a flame. Only the eye sockets retain human characteristics. Unexpected high temperature, unexpected supersonic speed. At that time, the weapons in the hands of the lightsaber squads weren't already very safe to protect them. If Xu Teng hadn't arrived in time, the consequences would have been unimaginable. But now, the army of the living dead looks like zombies. No matter what, I finally found a way to deal with it. Who knew that there was a self-destruction function on the opposite side? Moreover, the power of that self-destruction should not be underestimated. The deep craters photographed by satellites from high places are comparable to nuclear bombs. What is the High Priest trying to do? If it continues to develop like this, I am afraid that I do not want to use the entire Blue Star as an experimental site, especially this time. The troops of the beautiful country still suffered a setback. If this information is released, all of it will be released. The High Priest's declaration of independence will be sought after by some people. Then in his territory, it will really become the back garden of the god of death. Analyze the power of the self-destruction of the living dead legion. and simulate whether the sanctioner mecha can withstand it. Clear the modified sonic jammer is almost finished. The original plan, Xu Teng controlled these undead legions, and said to the high priest once, "Yours is mine, and it is very useful." Now it seems that some changes have to be made after standing still for a period of time. It will self-detonate just as Xing was performing calculations. A new call came in. Xu Teng didn't even look at it, so he connected directly. Academician Su, there is some progress in the resurrection of the pentagram that you want me to investigate. Su Zhao. Hearing this voice, Xu Teng reacted after Su Zhao discovered the resurrected den. He was assigned a task to investigate it and expect the results so soon. Quick, let's hear it. After receiving the task, I sent my younger brother to conduct an investigation carefully, and did not dare to startle the snake. But this morning, the nearby restraining force was suddenly not so strong. Morning? Xu Teng turned his head, just in time to see Xing reporting the news. Those legions of the living dead were exactly the time period when they were forced to stand still by the sonic jammer. Chapter 370. We have mecha. Do you have it? Does it matter at such a long distance? Or, the high priest who controlled the living dead army behind him felt it, and activated a series of instructions to let the living dead army explode. But, why is it related to the ban on resurrection dens? Su Zhao continued to report, before we didn't dare to enter the resurrection den because we felt a kind of restriction. That kind of prohibition is difficult to explain. If it can be generalized, it is spiritual. As long as you get close, you will exert mental pressure. When people feel uncomfortable, there will also be a fearful emotion from the bottom of their hearts, and they dare not approach them too much. However, at a certain moment in the morning, the prohibition suddenly disappeared. I sent a younger brother in to investigate, and unexpectedly, the younger brother I sent out came out not long after entering. Come out. Xu Teng was a little surprised and continued to ask, did you find anything? It stands to reason that after confirming that it is a resurrection den, it will not come out so quickly unless there is something in there. The front part is a laboratory, and there are all kinds of machines in it. However, all of them are scrapped. If you go a little further, you can see a door. Because we couldn't open it, we came out early. Door. Combined with Su Zhao's information, it can probably be inferred the scrapped laboratory was used to create the army of the living dead, and the function of self-destruction would appear after being stationary, which must have been added after many experiments prevent a legion of the living dead from becoming an experimental subject and being researched by other countries. According to this line of thinking, the things behind the door must be very important, or in other words, it is the core data of the entire experiment after those devices outside are destroyed. They cannot be restored that inside. Perhaps there is a message that the high priest communicated with the god of death. Maybe. It is also possible to infer the content of the following experiments. However, there is also a possibility the high priest did it on purpose, just to fool Xu Teng. Kurt's guards were all destroyed, and the siege commander and mutant firemen would definitely play a role in attacking the high priest Penfun library. Even in the death god civilization, cultivating usable power is not so simple. Thinking of this, Su Zhao interrupted reflects Xu Teng's thinking. Academician Su, shall we go in? Go in. Definitely go in. Xu Teng said affirmatively. Running away doesn't solve any problem at this moment. Xinghu's voice came. After collecting the data of the explosion of the living dead army, analyze it, comparing the explosion equivalent with the technology of Xingchen iron. Through the simulation and calculation of big data, the conclusion is drawn. The sanctioner metric can resist the self-destruction of the living dead army. However, within 100 meters, if more than 50 living dead choose to self-destruct, there is a risk of damage to the sanctioner metric. Can you resist the damage? This is of course a good thing. As for the 50 living dead who blew themselves up at the same time, if you pay attention, wearing the sanctioner will not be so easily besieged. The anti-gravity engine is installed, and it is flexible. Xinghu locates Su Zhao's location and sends the specific message to the lightsaber team. Calculate how long it will take them to reach Su Zhao's position. Enjoy it. Clear. Su Zhao on the other side of the screen pursed his lips when he heard the order issued by Xu Teng. The lightsaber squad is here too. I heard that there is already a sanctioner mecha on the opposite side. I just don't know if I can have it this time. Before Su Zhao could speak, he heard Xu Teng speak. I know what you're thinking, but the mecha that suits you has not been developed. If you want, you can open a small space in the sanctioner mecha for you to sit in. It also protects you. With the escalation of friction, Xu Teng has felt the sublimation of the high priest civilization more than once. Simply relying on the previous ion energy shield, maybe it's not enough to protect after all. Star Iron's technology is much harder than ionic energy shields. It's just that it is not difficult to open up a small space on the original basis of the sanctioner, although Xu Teng didn't say it explicitly, but he has a feeling if Su Zhao can also follow the past, his own ability may play a big role. Hey, Su Zhao sighed. What else can I say? Academician Su has spoken. Then I will naturally. The space opened up must be comfortable, so that I can feel the satisfaction of an emperor. There is also enough vision, so that I can have enough experience. This is a mech, even if it's just a small space. It's very comfortable for me to enjoy the pleasure of manipulating the sanctioner from the side. Good. Xu Teng agreed with a smile. On the other hand, Xinghu carried out Xu Teng's order and reported the specific situation to the lightsaber team. I'm going to Legion of the Living Dead. Death God civilization, and this. Yuan Farron was shocked. Everyone thought about it for the first time. If the sacrifice is resurrected, can it be sacrificed again? If this is the case, it is not a card bug, although the army of the living dead can't get stuck in bugs, but the Legion of the Living Dead has the physique to resist missiles, and it is also extremely scary. I feel the road ahead is getting harder and harder. When Maliki said this, the other four nodded subconsciously. The interstellar civilization has only just begun. The beautiful country that used to dominate Blue Star in the past is simply powerless to resist the High Priest who has upgraded its technology. Continue to escalate with the actions of the lightsaber squad. Some top secret information was partially decrypted. For example, behind the beautiful country, there is an interstellar civilization, and the kingdom of Mandu is coming to support it. For example, sonic jammers are the so-called assistants provided by the Kingdom of Mandu. Especially the self-destruction at the end made the lightsaber team a little horrified, comparable to the power of a nuclear warhead. This is riding a horse. One does not pay attention. The technology on the opposite side is constantly being upgraded. Fortunately, we have Academician Su, Liu Born said subconsciously. Everyone looked up at the sky, and there was their sanctioner Metzja on it. Xinghu just reported the information. Her star iron technology of the sanctioner can perfectly resist the self-destruction of the living dead. The only downside is, not too many people pile up. Only, how could the flexibility of the anti-gravity engine allow them to stack up so easily? Yuan Farron turned to look at his team members and said, let's go, let's support Su Zhao. I haven't seen him for a long time. That's right, the guinea pig's words are usually irritating. This time, we are also angry with him. We have Mecha. Do you have one? Ha ha ha. Chapter 371 Micro Wormhole Technology. Although the lightsaber team is in the enemy area, it is still in a deep position, but at the moment, the environment of speaking is full of cheerful atmosphere. Want to find us? Sorry, there's Xinghu's super ability to monitor the underlying logic. Although Kurt is the territory of your high priest, however, you may have heard an idiom, hide the sky and cross the sea. Yours works great. So the next second is mine. In so many days, the lightsaber team had an easy life. Everyday life is listening to Xinghu's broadcast, knowing that the beautiful country was rubbed on the ground by the high priest, and then looking forward to the sanctioner Mecha falling from the sky. It's not a loss for so many days of dormancy. And finally the sanctioner is hoped for. Xinghu locates Su Zhao's position and analyzes which is the best route. Okay, the charming voice of Xinghu came from the satellite positioning phone. In fact, Yuan Farron has always had a question why Xinghu's artificial intelligence is a little funny. He remembered that 3 minutes ago, Xinghu's voice prompt was still a sad uncle's voice. Could it be that Academician Su was afraid that we would be too lonely on the front line, so he deliberately set Xinghu like this? No. Academician Su once said that Xinghu can grow, which is very different from general artificial intelligence technology. Just as Yuan Farron was speculating, this time the child's high-pitched voice began to appear. Su Zhao's location has been located, Batan City, and the distance to the target is 50 kilometers. The optimal route has been planned. Looking at the route displayed on the satellite phone screen, Yuan Farron was a little surprised. Why road? Wouldn't it be easier to be found if you took the road? Compared with mountain village cameras, there will be more cameras. The coverage area is wider and the monitoring direction is broad. Who knows? The explanation behind Xinghu made them dumbfounded. Academician Su hopes to save time, after big data calculations, when you march at the previous speed. When they get there, a convoy of supplies will pass by. At that time, I will block all cameras around me. You can climb under the cart to get near your destination. At that time, you will get. Having said that, Xinghu deliberately paused. Maliki and the other four were dumbfounded. Guy, artificial intelligence will also block key information. What did you learn when you were surfing the internet? Say it. Call Master Xinghu. Gan, don't think we'll be afraid of you. Tell you, How could our strong man be caught by your little artificial intelligence? If we compromise, wouldn't it? Hey, aren't you curious about the sanctioner mecha? The five immediately gathered around. Lord Xinghu, I admit, I just spoke a little louder. That's right, Lord Xinghu, you must not remember the villain's past. Beijing Opera has changed its face. I haven't pinched it yet only. Why do identified mutants love mechas so much? Are you narrowing your path? A small hut with big doubts. While the lightsaber team and Maliki were discussing the marching route, Galaxy had a new reaction. It fell into deep sleep and automatically released a new task. Ding. Unlock a new mission. The world behind the door. Intimate note. Sometimes, what you see is not necessarily true. It's like a door you thought you walked in, but it leads to another bottom. There's a place that fascinates you. Don't blink. Completion standard. Find out the truth of the world behind the door. Bonus. Expansion of wormhole technology. Intimate note. I will tell you quietly that the so-called wormhole technology expansion can be loaded in the mecha. Punisher plus wormhole. There is definitely an eye-opening combination. Seeing the fonts popping up on the virtual screen, Xu Teng almost went numb. Wormhole technology expands. This time the reward is really too big. Originally, Xu Teng was also worried. For example, the sanctioner mecha must definitely be airdropped successfully. The reward for another quest in the galaxy. The starship can definitely be obtained. Anti-gravity engines mounted on starships can solve the energy problem, but how should sailing time be resolved? The interstellar space is extremely vast, and it is absolutely impossible to rely on flying. Then go to the year of the monkey and the month of the horse. If you master the technology of wormholes, all that can indeed be solved perfectly. Only Xu Teng turned his head to look at the information sent by Su Zhao, and fell into deep thought. The rewards given by Galaxy has always been proportional, and risks and benefits coexist. Explore the world behind the door and find it out. I really want to be able to get the reward of wormhole technology. There must be a lot of crises there, and we have to sort it out again to rule out the so-called crises at this time. Turning his head, he ordered to Xinghu, screen out the powerful heavy weapons of the Dragon Kingdom, simulate them to see if they can be scaled down, and load them on the sanctioner mecha. Received. Simulation is in progress. Recon the sonic jammer to see if the function of the pentagram pattern can be obliterated before the army of the living dead explodes. Executing command. Xu Teng rubbed his slightly swollen temples. By the way, there is one more thing. Submit an action application and report the reason why I have to go to the upper management. I hope he can approve my action. Clear. Xinghu, who received the order, started writing quickly. Just before sending it, Xu Teng said, I will definitely pay attention to my own safety. Added in, and emphasized that I have enough ability to protect myself. Xu Teng also understands that the reasons Xinghu wrote down earlier are not important. Only the last point is absolutely indispensable. There is Su Zhao, who transforms mythical biological enzymes, ion energy shield, blaster gun, sanctioner mecha. There's also the lightsaber squad and the last mutant, Maliki full sanctioner mecha, as well as sonic jammers that can control the army of the living dead. To be honest, the Dragon Kingdom's strongest individual strength is indeed here. One sentence. Flying dragon writing a face. How to lose? Not too much. I'm looking forward to what's going on behind the door. At this moment, in the splendid palace, the high priest rubbed his temples. He does this every time he encounters troublesome things. Just now, the battle ahead. The living dead army successfully annihilated the living force of the beautiful country's military base. This is a good thing. However, he also encountered a troublesome thing. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 372, New Sacrifice. That is the team that annihilated Kurt's life force, and they haven't been able to find it yet in the vast sea of people. It is as if the world has evaporated. If it was in the past, the high priest would not think much. After all, the strength of the Dragon Kingdom was also verified by the god of death himself. They are supported by a new generation of Reaper technology. Why? The so-called artificial intelligence technology is like artificial mental retardation, and there is no improvement at all. People disappeared right under their noses. It's not the first time I've dealt with this so-called special forces squad. The longer it disappears, the bigger the moth will be made by the other side. Actually, a little scared. Other bases. Has anything unusual happened recently? The high priest turned around and asked his younger brother. No, everything is fine. After receiving technical support, The High Priest did not only develop a base for the army of the living dead in the territory, there are other research bases. The deeper he came into contact with the interstellar civilization of the god of death, the deeper he felt, in a high-tech war, if technology is crushed, all tactics will be useless. Only when there is not much difference in technological civilization can the importance of tactics be highlighted, and the so-called High Priest will grow into the civilization with the highest level of technological culture on the blue star. This will crush other countries also. The High Priest publicly issued the Declaration of Independence and called outsiders into their country because the scientific research of other civilizations has always relied on the technology of the leaders. The scientific research of the Death God civilization values human life. Yes, the development of science and technology is piled up with human life. Then, just when the High Priest was about to say something, he suddenly changed his mind, turning around and instructing, "The base of the living dead strengthens the defense. Send a priest over. A whole card has been exposed. It is better to be more careful." Clear. When the younger brother retreated, the shadow of the splendid palace came, and the black mist filled everyone's sight. This time, even if you do find it, it will not be so easy to deal with. The High Priest, who was hidden in the darkness, muttered to himself he really enjoyed the feeling of being in the dark and controlling the world, even though he knew that only is an agent of death. But what does it matter as long as someone has the power to sell himself? What does it matter? Hey, is there a mistake? Xinghu, this is the material delivery convoy you said. Yuan Farron was lying on a nearby hill, looking at the pig farm below. The corners of his mouth twitched a little. Not that you can't, it's just that this ride on the horse was a bit unexpected. Okay, the pig farm is surrounded by valleys, surrounded by continuous hills, and there is only one road leading to it from the outside world. Pentagrams can change the quality of human beings, and these creatures are naturally no problem. To be precise, with the blessing of the pentagram, the pig farm smells a little bigger and a little more unpleasant. Yes, even pig farms also transport convoys of materials. Maliki, who had been standing beside him for a long time without speaking, frowned. What you said made sense, but I was speechless. Okay, I'm not kidding you, there is a reason for choosing this reason. The five looked at each other and saw the solemnity in each other's eyes under normal circumstances. Xinghu never said much now, taking the initiative to mention it. There must be some unreasonable reasons. The underlying logic lurker told me. This time the High Priest is prepared to send a priest to sit in the base of the living dead worship. They have been dealing with the Reaper civilization for so long, never had a fight with a so-called sacrifice, whether it is the original chosen of God, the siege, or the later burning man. Not all. This time, the sacrifices were sent out. It seems that the High Priest attaches great importance to the so-called base of the living dead. The underlying logic of the latent did not convey detailed information, but only vaguely said, it is necessary to cover up the breath. So, before the sacrifice enters the base of the living dead. Only pig farms around here can do this. After hearing Xinghu's explanation, all five were stunned. Is this a war of total suppression of information? Xinghu's body is so strong. The job description of the opposite High Priest was released, and Xinghu received the most detailed instructions. Open. It feels so cool. Everyone looked at each other, their eyes shining brightly at the same time. A sentence popped into my mind. Academician Su, what a powerful scientific research talent. Wait. You just said that before the sacrifice entered the base of the living dead. After Yuan Farron tasted the words carefully, he discovered an omission. Sacrificial priests will not stand in front of the living dead base as a guard. According to the information I understand, there may be a large number of life sources in the living dead base. For sacrifices, this is also an important energy source. So, he will definitely join the living dead base. Don't worry, you will never startle the snake. Having said that, Xinghu paused again, continued to explain. One more thing, you will enter the base of the living dead wearing the sanctioner mecha. Enter through the sanctioner mech. The expressions of the five people immediately became excited. Xinghu said, so much news, but this one is the best. Then what are you waiting for? Hurry up. That's right, it doesn't matter whether the smell of the pig farm is unpleasant or not. The main thing is that I like the smell from the bottom of my heart. If I don't smell it for a day, it will be somewhat uncomfortable. The four of the lightsaber squad turned their heads and looked at Maliki in shock. Fuck, brother, you are a ruthless man. Where, no. Liu Born suddenly realized that something was wrong. You are a mutant. Why do you care so much about the sanctioner mecha? Just when the five were discussing which cart to pick up, in the mech land, Xu Teng held the sonic jammer on the table and muttered, according to the data detection, The effect of the sonic jammer will be better than that of Mandu Divine Kingdom. I just don't know if I can suppress the pentagram pattern in the brains of the living dead. Under the powerful effect of the badge, Xu Teng really changed the success of the sonic jammer from Mandu Divine Kingdom along the way. The other weapons of the Sanctioner mech have also been upgraded after all. Everything behind the gate of the living dead base cannot be underestimated at this time. Xinghu just made a voice prompt to Xu Teng. Academician Xu, the lightsaber team has moved. According to the data analysis, you should also set off. Chapter 373 Action Deployment. Okay, after putting away the modified sonic jammer and other things, Xu Teng walked to the platform where the Sanctioner Metro was placed. Xinghu had already executed the order and slowly pushed the Sanctioner out. Well, it's better, that is, a manipulator is needed for auxiliary wear. If only it could be compressed. By the way, has the order for the action application been issued? Xu Teng asked while listening to the click sound of the machine turning to say the most worrying place, or here. All agreed, and Alan Tam also sent a special sentence. So, let's hear it. I wish Academician Xu a smooth operation, and will encounter similar major events in the future. If time is too late, Academician Xu can act first. Haha, that's fine. In the information age of globalization, news is transmitted very fast. When the beautiful country was destroyed by the army of the living dead, Xinghu did not just spread in the mech land. The leadership of each department also got the news at the same time, shocked each other. They only have one thought: they must find a way to stop the High Priest's technological upgrade. In the past few times, it has been clearly seen that the technology on the opposite side is rising rapidly. Someone has to go and investigate. At this point, someone just happened to submit an action request as for Xu Teng's application for this action. After the last Sanctioner's classic rescue operation, everyone has only one thought: no one knows the Sanctioner better than Xu Teng. Academician Xu is not only an all-around scientific researcher who is powerless, but also the strongest operator of the Sanctioner, leading the lightsaber squad to investigate. He's the perfect fit. Speaking of personal safety, just kidding. How could the strongest all-around scientific researcher put himself in danger? Boom rumble, the ceiling above the research room was cracked, creating a path through which the Sanctioners could pass. Then let's go and let them wait for our good news. Bikwaku goodly. Xinghu's answer was full of laughter at this time. Many researchers in the mechanized land unconsciously looked up at the sky at the same time. It seems that Academician Xu has started his mission again. Needless to say, from that house who else came out of it except Academician Xu? I just got the latest news from Xinghu. The troops and the beautiful country's frontline base were destroyed by the team of the High Priest. This time they faced the living dead. I'm going. They're too rude. Building a frontline base is as difficult as building a country, and it's always bombed. Wait? The living dead? Isn't that? Academician Xu also has them. Don't worry. Who is our Academician Xu, who is still afraid of this? I thought we were the same as the group of people in that beautiful country. So pull it. That's right. Haven't you watched the classic battle of manipulating the Sanctioner mecha? It's old, and Academician Xu is fighting against everyone alone. Just when Xu Teng was on his way frantically, the 5 members of the lightsaber team finally came to the suburbs near the base of the living dead. Sneaking in and taking a convenient car this far is just as Xinghu planned, extraordinarily smooth. When the 5 of them were lying on the bottom of the car of the pig convoy, they realized that the smell was so pungent, but it is indeed a convenience to others. This all the way through the checkpoint, and has not been scrutinized. Most of them just take a look and let them go. The 5 people at the bottom of the car could even see other people's feet, so close to each other. There was still no danger at this point. The 5 of them collapsed on the ground and took a deep breath of fresh air. Smell is a test of people, but also a test of physical strength. If it is not the strongest special forces unit, this level of physical consumption is really not something that ordinary people can bear. Xinghu, did you choose this place to let the Sanctioner land here? As soon as Yuan Farron said these words, the breathing of the other 4 began to hold their breath. Mecha, what you dream of, you can have in no time. On that day, Academician Xu's performance in manipulating the Sanctioner to show his might is still fresh in his memory. Every time I think about it, my blood boils. Xinghu did not answer Yuan Farron's question, but a series of voices came. Submit an application to connect the underlying vulnerability. Establishing a new connection. Connection succeeded. Get the underlying virus of the local LAN and are cracking the local network. The crack is successful, and the control has been obtained. The 5 people next to them stared at each other with big eyes. It was not the first time that Xinghu had done this kind of operation in the previous few times. It was precisely because of this that it was able to evade the monitoring of the local network. Every time I think of it, the body is a satellite positioning phone just meeting with Academician Xu once, and it can be upgraded to this level. The 5 people were shocked. Give Academician Xu a few more years, isn't it? All of them will have enough power to leave the so-called Milky Way galaxy, move the battlefield with Reaper to another galaxy. Okay, you can now press the button in the watch. All the local networks were taken over by me, and I was able to temporarily block monitoring. The 5 were stunned for a moment, then overjoyed. Pressing the button means being able to summon the Sanctioner Mecha. Haha, Lord Xinghu, you are always the best. I've known for a long time that Lord Xinghu is both intelligent and brave, and here, the one who blows the most is Maliki. Look at Xinghu's body with an affectionate gaze. A satellite positioning phone. Xinghu, Dad, lightsaber squad. Gan, almost forgot. The essence of this person is comparable to that of Su Jiao. There is lake water over there. You should go and wash in the water. That taste really heavy. Xinghu can analyze the data obtained, and through data simulation, he can roughly infer what the smell is. Haha. Okay, on the light curtain on the watch, the countdown of the Sanctioner has long been displayed. 3 minutes for the lightsaber squad. That's in Alcacca. At this time, the Sanctioner carrier platform far in low Earth orbit began to separate Punisher mechas with different numbers start to project according to specific position. Xu Teng, who is rushing over, also received a voice reminder from Xinghu. Academician Xu, the Sanctioner mecha in low Earth orbit has been launched. The artificial intelligence in the hands of Captain Yuan has taken control of the local LAN, and the deployment of operations near the Living Dead base has been completed. Pretty fast. Xu Teng is always at ease when they do things. There are still a few minutes to reach the base of the Living Dead. 3 minutes, full speed ahead. Okay. Chapter 374, the mission begins. The lightsaber team washed up very quickly. Of course, it's not just about being trained. Every team member can't help but think about it when he washes up. The Sanctioner is coming. This time for real. Is it possible for me to be as handsome as Academician Xu when I wear it? Oh no, I can't be more handsome than Academician Xu. I need to keep a low profile. I heard that when projecting, it relies on shields for positioning. Then if I take a few more steps, I can also locate it. Just when a few people thought about it, Maliki couldn't help but scream, "Quick, look at the meteors in the sky." Meteor? What meteors are there in broad daylight? No, that's the Sanctioner. After realizing this, several people immediately raised their heads. There are 5 meteor-like light spots descending from the sky, falling to different positions, and those are exactly where they are standing. True global positioning. It's really ethical to have free shipping to your home. Doing it like this will be a little too flamboyant. Although Yuan Farron almost jumped up with the same excitement, he couldn't help calculating the consequences in his heart. After all, they weren't that far from the base of the Living Dead. That's 7 or 8 kilometers away. Just when Yuan Farron was worried, the location phone in his hand rang again. The network intrusion has been turned on, and the screen fiction is in progress. Fictional success. The surveillance camera has failed, and the recorded picture is being played in a loop. I'll go. Do you want to be so reassuring? Xinghu is indeed a little strange sometimes. For example, I like to communicate with them in different tones, and I like to ask them to call at special times. Please call me Lord Xinghu. After all these unimportant details are ignored, it is quite reliable to have Xinghu as a teammate. At this moment, Yuan Farron couldn't help but recall it. Xu Teng controlled the Sanctioner to kill from a distance, and when he entered the field, he crushed the opponent. Accurately hit everyone's weakness, especially the opposition to the mutant fireman. The moment the body is dodging, a sword splits, the latter explodes directly under high energy compression. What a shocking thing this is. Projection and landing countdown. 1. The countdown to the projection landing. 0. 5 Sanctioner mechas landed precisely in front of everyone. The dark paint, even if it has not been activated, the technology of star iron is running slowly, reflecting and absorbing the surrounding light. Penfun library. Although the surface is smooth, the 5 know that there is a full load of ammunition under the smooth surface. Lightsabers, micro-missiles, blasters, shields. Ha ha ha, look at your astonished eyes. What are you waiting for? Hurry up and start the Sanctioner. Why, don't you want it now? Xinghu couldn't help but tease. Just like this, I will eat you all my life. Sure enough, no matter from which aspect, it cannot be compared with Academician Xu. Cut. I am your Lord Xinghu. Xinghu couldn't help muttering, "Oh, yes. Let's hurry up and enter the Sanctioner mecha." Yuan Farron reacted, turned his head and shouted to his teammates. During the few days when the operation was deployed, Xu Teng sent the video of how to enter the sanctioner mecha and how to control the sanctioner mecha to Yuan Theron's satellite positioning phone. Of course, the modified satellite positioning phone cannot have only such a simple positioning function. There is a small screen to be able to watch videos. There are even many unexpected features during those days. The lightsaber squad had nothing to do. They crowded together and watched the video sent by academicians over and over again. Every detail was taken care of, in the words of Xinghu. Everyone in the team even dreamed of wearing a sanctioner mecha, and today, finally used it. Yuan Theron took a deep breath, calmed down his excitement, and put his hands into the box. Calmly click. There is a fixed machine bracket sound coming from the box. Next second, just a series of noises. The cabinet slowly unfolded and climbed up along Yuan Theron's arms. Then it spread to the whole body, forming a space to gradually wrap Yuan Theron. Thump, thump. If the heartbeat was louder, Yuan Theron thought that Xinghu would definitely be able to hear it. Maybe Lord Xinghu is going to make fun of people again. No, why should I be called an adult? Just thinking about it, a familiar tone came. Welcome into the body of the sanctioner. I am you, the tactical assistance system, Xinghu. There was a sound of electric current, and the eyes of the sanctioner's helmet shone with blue light. It really started. At this moment, Xu Teng, who was flying, suddenly heard a series of voice prompts. Ding. The new mission has been completed. Mission, the sanctioner mecha. The first actual combat projection of the lightsaber team was successful. Reward, the small hull technology of the starship has been credited. Extracting bonuses. The bonus is successful. Intimate remarks, although the rewards are given by us, for you, this is just the beginning, not the end. If you have a new idea, you can implement it on the reward. Ding. The reward has been upgraded. The minimum golden blueprint can be self-added. This series of voice prompts made Xu Teng immediately bewildered. Can bonus blueprints be added? It seems that those products that I designed in the past have been actively enhanced by badges. No wonder. The effect of some products always exceeds the expected effect of the drawing. Now with the technology of small hulls, coupled with the core of the anti-gravity engine, it will definitely be able to develop civilization into an interstellar civilization. Now, it's time to focus on the other task in front of you, the world behind the door, but the task of having miniature wormhole technology. After successful exploration, it can be extended to the sanctioner mecha. As he thought about it, Xinghu began to prompt. Academician Su, the assembly location has arrived. Looking down, I happened to see 5 people wearing sanction mechas who were having fun everywhere. Some people lifted off and descended, and some people turned on the weapons in the sanctioner's mecha again and again. Someone is running, someone is chasing. It is fully demonstrated. It is hard to fly. The sanctioner internal communication is being established. The establishment is successful. With a sound of electric current, everyone stopped, tacitly looked up at Xu Teng in midair. Everyone, you have already understood the task. I won't repeat it. Just think. Do you have the confidence to complete the task? As soon as he finished speaking, he got a unified answer. Have. Okay, let's go. Chapter 375, Corridor and Gate. While this is the first time Xu Teng has teamed up with a lightsaber squad, the two sides don't have that incongruous conflict. On the contrary, tacit understanding will be a little more. This is thanks to the Punisher's assistance system, Xinghu's coordination with a huge database. The self has evolved to a certain extent through big data. The general characteristics of the lightsaber team and academicians who can be accurately analyzed thereby issuing the order. The surrounding network cameras have all taken over, and the monitoring screen will be played in a loop. Your actions have not been discovered. When everyone listened to Xinghu's voice, they not only sighed and wordline the case of information crushing. This kind of advancement is simply incomprehensible. Xinghu combined with the dark sun that was buried before, and completely took over all the surrounding networks. The core power of the sanctioner mechas, the anti-gravity engine, the roaring engine sound is only at full speed at this time. The 6 people who manipulated the sanctioner completely sneaked in silently a few kilometers away in 3 minutes. Is this the base of the living dead? Yuan Theron looked at the building in front of him and felt a chill in his heart. Even if Bluester's technology has developed to the current situation, it still cannot completely revive the dead. But the building in front of me broke the bottom line of technology just by relying on another combination of pentagrams. When those people were alive, they became sacrifices for others to enhance their power after death. There is no peace after the resurrection. He continued to become the high priest as a tool for battle. This is the so-called survival of the fittest and equality for all. I bother. Looking at the cuboid building under the black fog in front of him, Yuan Theron didn't have any good feelings at all. Pay attention to vigilance, and report any problems in time. After landing, Yuan Theron instructed his teammates, clear, The four spread out standing in front of the living dead base. Xu Teng quietly looked at the building in front of him. Although there is not a guard nearby, there is a ripple in the air when looking forward, and the vision is disturbed to a certain extent. Xu Teng understands that this is what Xu Zhao mentioned to him when he passed a message. Ban pentagrams have many functions. The science and technology of the Death God civilization all rely on the pentagram as the base. This time, before he could finish speaking, he saw an orange cat running from the far corner of the wall. The lightsaber squad, in a state of alert, felt as if they were facing a big enemy, and their bodies were instantly tense. If it wasn't for Xu Teng, who said it long ago, no shooting is allowed without his orders. Maybe Maliki has a stress response. Don't be nervous, this is our people, us. Who else? Wait, it seems that there is indeed one person missing. The orange cat ran over here happily. The next second, a snow-white figure suddenly popped out of the former's head and rushed towards Xu Teng. The sanctioner Metzja on the ladder automatically opened a small space and wrapped the snow-white figure. Then, a familiar voice came from everyone's communication channel. Hey, you are all here. Have you missed me during this period of time? Lightsaber squad, good guy, Xu Zhao. Sure enough, it is. Could Academician Xu say that it is ours? But, it's been so long. Why doesn't this guinea pig know how to change his personality? At the beginning of your performance in the biological laboratory, the machine can judge that you are autistic and strong guinea pig, but it didn't say, you have social bullock syndrome. Okay, let's not tease you. Let me explain the general situation first. There is a band near the base of the living dead. Last time, the power of the band disappeared a lot, and I entered by luck. It is divided into a corridor and a door. There are damaged experimental devices in the corridor, and I have recovered some experimental data from it. Not much, it's roughly to explain some of the programs made by the living dead. It is controlled by sound waves. After the sound waves reach a certain frequency, they can interfere with the actions of the living dead. As for what's behind the door, I don't know, there's no way to get in. Having said that, Xu Zhao paused, as if recalling something. One more point. Yesterday morning, a thick black fog suddenly appeared in front of the living dead base, and then entered the base. Since then, he hasn't come out again. Dense black fog. At this moment, Xinghu's voice came out. After data analysis and comparison, the dense black mist should be a sacrifice sent by the high priest. It is to guard the base of the living dead. As for why not come out, because there will be a lot of residual life energy in the living dead base. 4 sacrifices, this is a great tonic. No wonder, Xu Zhao whispered. Oh, yes. You can go in now, go in. Hearing Xu Zhao's words, the others were a little puzzled. Didn't you just say that there is a band near the base of the living dead? There were ripples in the surrounding air, and the site was disturbed. Pen Fun Library. Xu Zhao seemed to know what other people were thinking, raised his finger and snapped, break it for me. What are you doing? Can you break with a snap of your fingers? More arrogant than a mutant like me. Maliki's words have not been spoken. I saw an incredible scene. Suddenly, a ray of light appeared on the ground, the ripples in the air were slowly smoothed out, and the vision returned to normal. Even the pervasive black fog slowly dissipated a little. Maliki, fortunately, I didn't speak, otherwise, the clown would be myself. Okay, let's go. I'm pretty good at cracking small things like these bands. Hearing this sentence, the lightsaber team immediately thought of something on the north side of Bam City. Xu Zhao once drew a pentagram pattern to solve the problem. Damn, Xu Zhao, you still have 2 brushes. Liu Born cheered. These are all trivial things. Compared with what Academician Xu has done, they are all trivial things. Liu Born's mouth twitched again. This little guinea pig is too cunning, and accidentally became its stepping stone. Hateful. Let's go. Everyone be careful, Xu Teng said. Clear, obviously just took a few steps forward, and the surrounding environment changed in an instant. What appeared in front of him was the corridor that Xu Zhao said. It was pitch black, with only a few scattered lights. There are all kinds of parts scattered around and piled up everywhere. The whole is desolate. Xinghu, scan the situation in the corridor. Clear. When the order was issued, all 6 of the sanctioner mechas uniformly executed the scanning order. Spectra invisible to the naked eye instantly spread out with them as the core, spreading to the distance. End of this chapter. Thank you so much for reading until the end. Don't forget to give it a like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription or donation encourages us to continue. Thank you all. See you in the next video.